Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Hey Salty. Hey guys. Hey, we're just gonna wait for a few more people to come in. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Hi Carrie. Shalima. Alright, so looks like people are still coming in. I just want to tell all my mods tonight that if there's anyone being disrespectful in the chat, to time them out. And if they continue to be disrespectful, I want you guys to block them, and then I'll just unblock them later. Hey, Chris. Because we're not going to have anybody be disrespectful in here to anyone in the chat or anyone on panel. Also, I want to say that I don't want any of the drama from the YouTubes between Ziggy and Tiffany and their subscribers, you know, all you guys. I don't want any of that drama in here today, okay? Yeah, truth for all. They get one warning. And then block them. I'll unblock them later. And then, you know, if we continue to see a problem, then, you know, Carrie. All right, guys. So I'm going to have my special guest up here soon. I just want to say to everybody, it's okay to ask questions. We're actually going to clear some things up first. And then it's okay to ask questions, but I want everyone to be respectful in chat. Okay? Great. Here, let me pin that. There we go. No creator drama or be timed out. Be respectful to the guests. Okay, so like I said, it's okay to ask questions. I just want you all to respect everyone on panel. Okay? No, it's not Ziggy. All right, if you're ready to come up, you can come up. Hey, Stormy. Stop. Yes, make sure to hit the like button, guys. It helps the channel. Hey, Classy. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on one second, guys. Okay, I'm putting the link in the chat, but this is only for our guests. Oh, is she live? Hey, Carrie. Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So how's it going?
Pretty good.
Yeah. So I talked to the chat, and everyone's going to be respectful to the panel, right, guys? And we're going to take some questions later. And right now, I just want to go over a few things with Shannon. Okay, guys? Everybody saying hi, Shannon.
Hey, guys.
All right. So I know that we talked about clearing up a few things. So I wanted to ask you to tell me about this is in regards to the wells. Tell me about the mattress that's at the back door.
The mattress, the mattress that's by the back door is actually one of the old mattresses from one of the kids, and it was thrown out there when they bought a brand new mattress with the purpose of the dogs being able to sleep on it.
Okay. And they sleep on it underneath the canopy that's by the back door?
Yep.
Okay. And the reason it's dirty,
That property is extremely muddy, and those
right?
dogs go down in the creek and they go rolling in the mud and off into other fields and stuff, and of course it's going to be black.
Yeah, definitely. So I hope that clears that part up for some people. I know I've been hearing that a lot about the mattress. All right. Another one that I've been hearing is that something about a sofa. So do they have a sofa?
They don't. So I had seen somebody in another live somewhere say that there used to be a sofa in front of the downstairs door that leads out to summer swing. Um, the two times that I've been up there, there is not a sofa. There is a sectional portion out over the hill that when the searchers had gone through and had searched that hill, they had cut it open and checked inside of it and whatnot. That's the only sofa there. So the sofa that everybody was talking about that they claim they saw Candace passed out on doesn't exist.
Okay. So that was probably just like a chair or a bed or something like that.
So the only thing they have in there to sit on is four or five chairs at the dining room table.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys, this is Shannon. She's actually a friend of Candace's, and she's been up on the property. So she is going to clear up some things for us. And if you guys missed the first two questions, you can rewind a little bit and then turn up the speed to catch up. Okay, what about sheets? Do they have sheets on their beds?
Yeah. Yeah. The boys in summer aren't sleeping in their beds right now, obviously, and even they have fully made beds with sheets and everything.
Right.
And when I had gone downstairs to look at Summer's room, um, Candace has a fully made bed too, with clean sheets and a comforter and pillows and everything. So
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the protesters. When you were up on the hill this last time, the protesters were there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and were you able to hear the protesters?
When we walked down, about, I'd say it's somewhere between a quarter and a halfway down the hill. If you look at an aerial view of the property, when you go up the driveway, you then have to take a right, a sharp right, and then that wraps up and around. And on the edge of that driveway is the school bus, and it's right on the edge of the hill, right before it starts to slope down really far,
Mm-hmm.
by the dog trail. And that's where we had to go down. And when we were there, we were all in the house, and Tim came running up and he said, "They're out there." And when we went outside, we had to go down by the bus to be able to hear them. And that's why, if you watch everybody's videos, there's actually a video where you can see Don standing at the top of the ridge,
Mm-hmm.
by the bus in a white t-shirt.
Okay. And he did fire off a flare gun, right?
He did, yep.
Okay. And that was up in the air. It wasn't at the protesters?
No, it was, I was standing probably about 10 feet from him. And he was trying to bend down into his truck because he had pulled out his back. And he was trying to bend down in his truck. And I looked over and I'm like, "What the hell are you doing, Donnie?" And he pulled out the orange flare gun and he shot that sucker right up in the air, right over his head. And it streamed over the trees that are on the property, over the road, and into the ravine on the other side of the road.
Okay. All right. Hold on one second. I don't know what this question means. Okay. Somebody in the chat is asking a question. But we're going to hold all questions until the end. Okay, guys? All right. Now, can we talk about what Candace said about the pictures of Summer? Do you know what I'm talking about? How she said that she doesn't want anyone using pictures of Summer?
Oh, yeah. She didn't say that nobody can use pictures of Summer. You know, in fact, she promotes using pictures of Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And she sends me pictures all the time, and it's to keep Summer's face out there. Her problem is that people were selling candles with Summer's face on them and
Mm-hmm.
t-shirts and whatnot with Summer's face on them. She was
Right.
on somebody's live and she said nobody has the right to use Summer's face for profit.
Right. That's how I understood it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do you know if the church has shunned the family?
They have not, no. They
No.
still go. Matter of fact, the weekend that the protesters were there, Donnie had gone to church that morning, but because his back was so bad, they do classes and they have to, get up and move to the next class. And
Mm-hmm.
when he stood up from the first class, he ended up calling Candace and saying, "I'm going home. I can't move." And he ended up going home. And I think it was God's timing, because then right after that is when they showed up at the church.
Right. So I'm assuming that when the protesters had said that the church said that Don and Candace were shunned from the church, they were either saying it to protect them or the protesters lied and they didn't say that at all.
From what I had heard, it was allegedly a reporter that had told them that. But we've heard
Okay.
several things that have been misconstrued from those people. So
Right, exactly. Okay, there have been some questions about Timmy and Tim. You know who these two people are, right?
I know Tim and I know of Timmy, just from the
Right.
prayer vigils that I've never been to them.
Okay.
But they're two different people.
Right. So
Tim,
Tim is not associated with the church.
no, he runs a website in Kingsport News.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of it. And he had reached out to Robin from the church and said, "Hey, I seen this story in the news. Do they need somebody to help take care of their media issues?"
Mm-hmm.
And Robin had gone to Don and asked Don, and Don had approved. And Tim has been up there doing that stuff ever since. And Timmy is related to some other church. I don't know. Matter of fact, Candace had said she doesn't really know him. She knows of him from the prayer vigils.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, like I said, guys, we'll get back to questions after we're done here. And then you guys can ask your own questions if we didn't cover anything that you want to know. Okay, let me see. Do Candace and Don have parental rights?
They do. Yeah, and they pay child support for the boys.
Okay. That's all I'm going to ask. I don't want to get too deep into that subject. Um, okay, so everyone was assuming that the Chris that they were talking about on J for Justice's panel was A.F. Pennington's husband. Can you clarify who they were talking about?
So I don't know if A.F. Pennington's husband is actually named Chris or not. I
Mm-hmm.
did hear them say that she lives in Virginia. Matter of fact, she doesn't even live in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure where she lives, but Chris is actually a vital person in this case, but he's
Okay.
not in any way related to A.F. Pennington.
Okay, and you don't have to say who he is, just that we know it's not A.F. Pennington's husband that they were speaking about.
No, I've met the Chris that they were referring to it from a video where Don had said or Candace had said, "Did Chris call?"
Mm-hmm.
And I've met that person.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I know for a fact he's not any relation to A.F. Pennington.
Okay. All right. Do you know if there's any mold in the basement?
When I was down there, it didn't look like there was, and it didn't smell like there was. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like sealed concrete, like cinder blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So like a typical basement, but it's a flat concrete floor with area rugs down there. Um,
Okay.
so it didn't look like there was any mold, and you could typically smell something like that, mold and mildew, and there wasn't
Mm-hmm.
any in there that I know of.
And
None of
they
the
are
house smells, for that matter.
and they are fixing up the basement, the two bed or the bedroom in the basement, Summer's
Yep,
bedroom.
they just bought her a brand new toddler bed,
Mm-hmm.
and they're painting her half of the basement. There's a wall in between her side and Candace and Dawn's side, and they're painting that and getting that all taken care of. And Candace had gotten her a Paw Patrol bed set and everything else to get the room done up for her new.
Nice. Okay. So I want to talk about Don's job. Was he fired from his job?
He was.
Okay. And do you know if he is back to work?
He did get another job, so he
Okay.
is back working,
Okay.
just not there.
Okay. Um, okay. So there is something going around that George Bernard, this random person on Facebook, is Andy, Jody Sue's husband.
Um,
Now,
I I looked that up, and
uh-huh.
he's probably in his 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen Andy personally, and
Mm-hmm.
that is definitely not him.
Okay. All right. And are John and Candace legally married?
They are. Yeah, the picture that goes around that looks like an Easter picture is actually when they
Mm-hmm.
got married. They had a courthouse wedding.
Okay. All right. That's pretty much all the questions I have. Is there anything else that you want to add, or do you want to see if there's any questions in the chat?
Well, I would like to clarify the fact there's a couple people going around claiming that I am related to H's father, Andrew Hill.
Right. Yep.
Um, I am not. I
Mm-hmm.
had actually questioned it myself, and that's how that got started because my mother, her maiden name was Hills.
Right.
So, but I've never met this guy. I had actually messaged him on Facebook and asked him if we were related. He asked his family, I asked my mom, and it came down to no, that we're not. I mean, probably somewhere down the line, everybody's
Yeah, like
related.
distant.
Right. But I don't know who the guy is.
Right. Okay. So hopefully that clears that up for everybody. And I've seen a lot of people asking about that, if Shannon and Andy are related. So there you go, guys.
Well, he was frustrated in Jay's live the other night because I wanted to correct her on some of the things that she was getting completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I had commented several times and I had tagged everybody that was on the panel and they just ignored it. So he had said jokingly, is anybody going to hear from my cousin?
Right.
Um, and then he threw out there that it's on his dad's side and on my mom's side, which none of that is factual. Um, my mom has she's done the genealogy on the whole family. We've always done family reunions and everything. And she's never heard of him or any of even his grandfathers or great grandfathers. So,
Right. Alicia, I don't know if you were listening, but they did not throw anything away. And Shannon has said this in a couple of the lives that she's been on. They did give Summer's toys to the church and they were cleaning them and then they brought them right back. But she hasn't given anything away, maybe except for old clothes, things that wouldn't fit her anymore. But other than that, they've been buying her new things. So, and she still has all her old toys, but cleaner. So let me go through here. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. All right, let me just look up. Yeah, the church that Timmy talks about, I think it's called Awaken, or that's the name of the podcast. What's this? What about Bobo? He seems weird from the beginning. Film lots of vigils. Who's Bobo?
Bobo?
Yeah, I don't think I know.
I have no idea.
She said he seems weird from the beginning. Filmed lots of vigils. Can you just tell us who Bobo is? Okay, let's see. Okay, toddler bed for a 6-year-old. From what I've seen, she is very petite. And my daughter actually had a toddler bed until she was almost 7 because she was so small. So, I mean, sometimes if the child is petite or short or, they can still be in a toddler bed.
And actually, Candace had told me, she had showed me on video the new bed.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed by the size of it in the back of the car that it was a toddler bed. I could be very wrong.
Okay.
It was in pieces.
Yeah. So maybe, because I don't know if they're going to maybe on their site or Facebook or something, maybe they'll show the room when it's all done.
Possibly, yeah. Or on the site.
Yeah. He is his own boss. He is a subcontractor. So I don't know how any of that really works. But we do know from, that he does have another job. And, that's via Candace and Dawn. Let's see. This is a bot. Isn't there an NDA to not talk about the house?
No. There's an NDA so that you can't take pictures and videos.
Right. And that's what I've heard as well. Okay. How did she meet the Wells? When and does she stay with the Wells? Trying to understand the connection. Okay. Do you want me to or do you want to answer?
I can. I don't stay at their house. I stay in hotels when I go there. I live 5 hours away from them. I met them because I was messaging Candace and Dawn on Facebook at the beginning of this and basically just sending them my condolences and asking if there was anything I could do to help. And he never answered me. She never answered me. I was watching Cher's live one night and she was talking to Donnie and I had emailed her. I asked her if she could forward the email to Candace and Dawn, and she said she would. And then about 15 minutes later, Candace had messaged me back and answered me on Facebook. And, up until I went up there in December, I would ask her almost daily. Sometimes I'd wait 2-3 days. And I would ask her, how are you doing? When it came down that she had the toothache, I asked her how her mouth was. And it was always, okay, or I'm okay. We're fine, stuff like that. And then finally in December, I was kind of put off by the fact that all these people were going to go there and not knowing what their intentions were. I saw that Benny was going and I said, oh, I wouldn't be alone if I went up there. I don't know Benny. But I had messaged Candace and I said, do you mind if I come up there when Benny comes up there? Just because it's not a good idea to go there by yourself, anywhere like that by yourself until you know the situation.
Right.
And ever since then, we've been talking.
Okay. All right. So Bobo is a reporter. He writes stories on the missing children.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, I don't know if she would know this one, but here's a question. Why does Don think the drug cartel took Summer?
I've never talked to him about that. And never talked to Candace about that specific thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was just kind of a reaching for straws.
Right.
I mean, if you've got 5 kids in your house and you buy a chocolate candy bar, but only one for yourself and you hide it and it comes up missing, you're going to say, who took it? You're going to go from
Right.
one kid to the next kid until you figure out who took it. And I think that's what he's doing is he's grasping for straws, trying to figure out who the hell has his kid.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Kim said it was the most shoddy amateur NDA ever. Yeah, I mean, there's only a couple things on it, so I would think it's probably very, very small, right?
Yeah,
Just a
yeah,
couple
it's literally
sentences.
just a almost like a sign-in sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sign verifying that they spoke to you about no pictures and no videos.
Okay, there you go. Let's see.
And that's not to hide anything. That's just because of certain folks have made a mockery of everything and figure, oh, I can take
Exactly.
a video of this and show it to everybody and then form my own opinion and make it go viral.
Oh wow, Alicia. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that guy up. So it says, and drives a red pickup truck. Jeff Bobo, just weird. Google him.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
So is he the one that had told the quote unquote protesters that the Wells weren't welcome at the church then? I just know that it came from a protester. I don't know, or from a media person. I don't know exactly who.
Yeah, maybe it was that guy. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what this says. Thank you, J. Marie. The rumors are way out of hand. It's nice to hear some truth.
Absolutely, I
I
agree.
know. Yep, me too. Let's see what this says. Have you ever helped other families with missing children? That would be hard to deal with, in my opinion. Very draining.
Um, when I lived in upstate New York, I was a paramedic, and we had to go on a lot of searches. I had volunteered also with the SARS team to go help search for people. But other than that, I've never, this is unlike me, if I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
Even my husband had said, that that's not something that I would normally do, is just kind of involve myself like that. But something, I don't know what it is, something drew me to wanting to go there and form my own opinion.
Right. Okay. The NDA is a big to do about nothing. Yeah, like she said,
Absolutely.
it's basically a sign-in sheet, just saying that you're not going to take any pictures or videos.
And that was started because Sheriff Lawson even said that, YouTubers and social media are causing a huge distraction, and all of these bogus tips are being called in based on what people see on YouTube, and it's
Mm-hmm.
causing them to have to spend more time on all of that garbage rather than actually focusing on the real situation. And in my opinion, this little girl could have been found by now if people weren't sticking their hands in where they don't belong.
Exactly. Now, while we wait for other questions, what do you think about the protesters coming back for February 7th?
Well, I mean, it's, in my opinion, they remind me of a cockroach. I mean, you try to get rid of them, they keep coming back.
You know,
It's all for fame and fortune. That's all.
yeah. I feel like a lot of people think the same thing, you know? Let's see. Did the money for house renovations, stairs, new bed, etc., come from the church or YouTube donations?
Neither. Don works for a living full time.
So he's paying for everything himself?
Yep. I mean, there has been people that have gone up there and helped and have brought things with them, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a very small bite out of a large cookie, and the rest of it came out of Don's pocket.
Right. And I actually, I'm going to be doing another live soon, and I want to talk about where all these donations are coming from and where they're going. So we're going to talk about that in my next live. Let's see.
Turds that won't flush. I agree. They're not even floaters.
Zam, welcome. Agree about people on the ground not helping. Yeah. Let's see. Why do you keep saying they haven't drank if they were drunk last week? She wasn't there last week.
Nope.
She's only talking about the times where she was there, and she has clarified that.
Yeah, there was no alcohol used. There was no drugs used, nothing. There was nothing to question while I was there. Matter of fact, this last time that I was up there, I had gone up there Friday night and I had left Sunday night, and it wasn't a very long period of time. Stayed in a hotel. So um, the first day I was up there at the hill, and then the second day I had taken her shopping. We had gone to the mall, gone out to lunch, and everything else, just kind of as a distraction from what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then that night we went back up to the hill. But if you track what these people are doing when they're up there, they're not going out there at night. They're only going out there during the day. So we knew it was safe to be there while they were gone,
Right.
in the evening. So then next morning, or the next night, the next day, Sunday, was the day that I left. I didn't see them on Friday because I went up there and got up there late.
Right. And Chris, where did you see that they were drunk last week? If you can just let me know. I'm just curious because I hadn't seen that. I've also been away from YouTube a couple days, just on and off. Okay, so it was rumored he had $3,000 in bank accounts when he went to pay Crack Fairy with $2K worth of crack cocaine. You must be kidding me, right?
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything
Yeah,
about their finances. I just know that Donnie works full time.
yeah. And I mean, she's really only going to be able to tell what she's seen and everything while she was up there or what was told to her.
I mean, I could do like
So,
some of these people and pull stuff out of my ass, but I'm not going to do that. It's not morally right.
right, exactly.
If you hear my dog snoring, I'm so sorry.
I actually don't hear it, but
Give him a minute.
I'm not using earplugs. So the earbuds. They if they have where to go? If they have all this money, then why didn't they fix the stairs before all this? I don't know.
Bless you, babe. I mean, probably for the same reason that I haven't fixed my shed and it has a hole in the side of it. I mean, you just don't get around to it. And all five of her, well, seven of them, six of them were used to using those stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were used to using it, they probably didn't see it as a problem. I
Right.
went up and down those stairs. They're kind of sketchy for somebody that's not used to them, but
Mm-hmm.
they're stairs. They didn't see a problem with it. They've used them every day. So,
Yeah. And yeah, his parents own that property, or his mom and his
right.
stepdad. It's always been there. So they probably just, like you said, they were used to it and maybe just never got around to it. I think this one. My heart hurt me for them when MGL was screaming at Candace about Summer being dead and Don getting fired.
She's just trying to poke the bear and trying to provoke a reaction. And that's what,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, that's a narcissist and a bully. And, when you can, yeah, that's not protesting. That is not protesting. And if you listen to the video where the police had told them out front of Donnie's work, as long as you're not making a scene where people turn their heads, if somebody yells and says, I'm sorry, your daughter's dead, of course that's going to turn heads. And
Right.
protesters will get out there and say, no, no, we won't go, or justice for
Yeah.
Summer, things like that. Not the
Mm-hmm.
things that they were saying. And I'm
Right.
sorry, but I still stand by the fact of I went up there based on honey, not vinegar. And
Right.
they would have been able to do the same thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, look at Ziggy. She was able to talk to them and she
Yeah.
wasn't an asshole to them.
Right. Yeah. There's no need for threats and being mean.
Yep.
So Classy Chatty says, have you met Tim Mullins? There
I
is a
have.
rumor that he was the one that told Brad that Summer was safe. I'm not sure if this is true.
I don't think, and I could be wrong, because I guess I'm speculating, but I don't believe that Tim has met Brad. Brad has not been up on that property that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
He was, matter of fact, when Benny had found Summer's sneaker with the sock in it, which was nothing abnormal. I mean, she kicked her shoes off, from what I'm told,
Yeah.
and there's stuff all over the yard from her.
Mm-hmm.
When he found that, he had told Brad because he thought that Brad was a friend, and Brad instantly wanted to come up there and get that shoe for unknown reasons. I'm probably thinking something malicious, but other than that, I don't think he had to ask Benny for permission to come up there. So that tells me he was not up there
Mm-hmm.
before.
Right. So in that case, he's probably never met Tim
Right.
at all. So, and we know how
Ooh,
much.
can I clarify this question here, because I don't want that rumor to get started. Has Shannon been to the
Which
Wells house
one?
before Summer went missing from Fair Dinkum?
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, you're way down here, right?
Well, it's just whatever's on my screen here.
Okay, I got it.
I have I have not. I don't know if you were in here and heard my explanation on how I started talking to them, but it was about 2 weeks after Summer went missing. No, I was never up there. I didn't even know these people existed prior to Summer
Mhm.
going missing. I found
Right.
her on Facebook, Summer's face.
Yep.
I
And
don't
you've
want that
told
rumor
us
to get
that a
started.
couple times.
Yeah.
And guys, if you've ever not watched any of my past lives, go ahead and check them out because Shannon's been up a couple times. So if there's any questions that aren't being asked or anything you're curious about, maybe you can find it in another live that she's been on. Okay, so if you want to check those out after this, you're more than welcome. So how do you think Don and Candace are holding up mentally, emotionally through all of this?
They're pretty messed up. When I'm in front of Don, when I'm there and he's there, which is very rarely, because he works so late. But I do stay there, for a couple hours after he gets home, and he's always got his head hanging low, and he can't focus. When you try to talk to him about anything,
Mm-hmm.
he can't focus on it, and he just reverts back to, who in the hell would take your daughter?
Right.
And it's just, whoa, that wasn't what I was talking about, but okay.
Yeah.
And they both have lost a significant amount of weight. um
Yeah. I noticed. But yeah,
and
we definitely.
their life
Mm-hmm.
revolves around the rumors now, because it's like,
Yeah.
I don't understand, and nobody else that knows about this understands why all these rumors just keep getting spread.
Right. Right. Exactly. And like how you were saying that, Don just keeps going back to who would take our daughter, who would take her, and
Yep.
you can see that in the interviews. He kind of just always goes back to that and goes back to his, some people call it jailhouse religion. Who knows, He
Right.
might just be going there for comfort because maybe he had nothing to do with his daughter's disappearance.
But if you
I
also
mean,
think about it too, people are claiming
mhm,
that he only started church after Summer went missing. The
right.
pastor at the little church at the end of their road on the corner of Lone Star and Beach Creek,
Hmm.
um, that pastor where they dropped off the food had said that they used to come here for the food pantry, and they used to come here, to for the sermons and everything. So
Really?
that would included Summer. So that was before she went missing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I had heard that they were going to another church before Seventh Day.
Yeah, and
And
that was
that's
when he
it.
had said that they didn't offer any kind of a kid program, a child program. So when he
Hmm.
found the Seventh Day Adventist Church, they had
Hmm.
offered a specialized group to teach the kids, about God and about the Bible and everything. And I don't personally go to church. I've
Hmm.
had some bad experiences at churches when I was in New York, and to each their own. I don't feel like you
Right.
have to be in a church to be able to believe, or pray, or anything like
No.
that, whatever your
Yeah.
preference is. Um, but it's hard, it's difficult for a child to even know who the hell you're talking about when they can't see the person. So to try to tell them about God or Jesus, they're going,
Hmm.
who? you know
Right.
so that would be
Exactly.
my idea as to why he liked the fact. I mean, when you've got that many kids,
Hmm.
you want them to be able to be in a program where they can learn the right way about it.
Right. I just wanted to read these two. The protesters made a complete fool of themselves. They used their members to finance their trip and their wish list with spy pens on them. Yeah. And yeah, so that's self-explanatory right there.
I won't
And
even
that's
speak of
how
what
a
I've
lot
seen
of
on the
people
wish list.
feel. Yeah, and that's how a lot of people feel. I mean, they used all this money and everything, and they just kind of didn't do what they were expected to do over there. They kind of disappointed a lot of people. And I don't blame people for being upset with them. MGL played a voicemail from Dom last week, and he was drunk. He could hardly talk. Yeah. So, okay, because there was a comment earlier about him being drunk last week or something. And I remember I asked her where she had heard that. She's just clarifying that there
Yeah,
was a
I don't know if I heard
played.
that one.
Yeah, I
She
don't
probably
think I
took it
did.
down after she played it.
Probably. I'm sure we can find it somewhere, though, hopefully. I'll have to look for that after. Or maybe Truth for All has it. um, let's see. Has Shannon been to the Wells house before Summer went missing? Oh, no, we already answered that one.
Yep.
Sorry. My chat jumps sometimes. Do you know if they upgraded areas in the house for the boys?
There is a whole room dedicated for just the boys. It has bunk beds in it, um, dressers and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But because Summer's so young, if she comes home, they want her to be in the downstairs with them.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Tim and Brad are both in Billboard video. WJHL. They have met. Okay, so they have met.
See, I'm not aware of Tim having any affiliation with WJHL though,
Yeah.
because he does it for the Kingsport news. It's like kingsport.me is the website or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, like I was saying before, Shannon only knows, from what she knows from hearing conversations or being up on the hill or what she's told. So as far as she knew, they weren't, they didn't know each other. So many more are planning to go protest at MGLs. Will she and the others have to pay people back for their intentionally misleading viewers for money and time? Yes, Benny and MGL plan the drama. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think she pays them back. I don't know how that goes.
When
Is this
she was
Shannon
intending
Lynn?
on going there the first time, she had led all of her viewers astray and told them that she was at the airport and had to head back because nobody
Mm-hmm.
had showed up, and then came out and said that it was a lie to protect themselves. Well, before she
Mm-hmm.
had come out and said it was a lie, people were asking, well, where's all that money you just got? And she told
Mm-hmm.
them, if you didn't donate, it's none of your business. And if you want your money back, I don't know what to tell you. And she said,
Right.
it's going to be used for the summer case. We're just not going right now. And then she ended up being there.
Right. And you know what? I'll say something later about that or in another live. Oh my God, my heart breaks. They just want people to understand them. Social media sucks. Yeah, it
They've never
does.
had this much attention before, so of course they're
Mm-hmm.
going to try to utilize it.
Yeah. You know, hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm like moving around. But yeah, it's, you know, like she said, they have never gotten this much attention before. And it's like, a lot of people are just quick to judge, and I'm guilty of it as well. I've thought different things. I've thought they were guilty. I thought they were innocent. Your mind goes all over the place. And a lot of times, these people, they get a thought stuck in their head and they stick with that and they're just so mean, you know?
But you have to stop and think too when you're going back and forth and you're thinking about stuff like that. And I'm not going to say I haven't gone back and forth. I am
Mm-hmm.
Switzerland. I don't know where the hell I stand. I'm
Mm-hmm.
waiting for proof and of
Yeah.
anything. And when you have nothing but what the YouTubers to go by, what the
Mm-hmm.
YouTubers have to go by, that's the problem. Is that the
Right.
YouTubers they don't know either. They're just going
Exactly.
by what they hear, or they're making
Hmm.
up their own dramatized story about what they think happened, and then people run with it. They
Hmm.
have no more than you or I have.
Right. Exactly. So you got to think, guys, it's just that's, they could be innocent, they could be guilty. We don't know.
Well, I also want to throw in there too is the fact of everybody keeps saying, oh my God, they're criminals. Look at all the years they've had of getting arrested and committing crimes. You know what? A good criminal, if you want to call them that, wouldn't
Hmm.
get caught. If
Right.
they've gotten caught for all of the stuff that they've done, that
Hmm.
shows they're not even a damn good criminal. So wouldn't you think that if they get caught with that kind of stuff, they would also get caught with this? That shows me
Right.
that they're not equipped enough, if you know what I'm saying, to
Hmm.
be able to pull off a crime and not get caught. They're lazy and stupid about it. And I'm not calling them stupid. I'm just saying when you make stupid mistakes, you get caught.
Right. And I agree 100%. You know, it's 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 just crazy when you see somebody has a long rap sheet, and that's kind of what makes me flip flop a little bit because and on one hand he does have a criminal rap sheet and he is capable of doing this. It's a possibility, but then at the same time you think about it and you're like, well, if he got caught for all this other stuff, you know what I mean, it's already been 7 months,
Yep.
and if he was involved with this, you think TBI or law enforcement would have arrested him already.
These people
So
involved in it that are researching all of this and investigating all of this, they're not any dummies. They've done this a time or two before.
mhm,
And I'm pretty sure that, with how much Don talks and how many times he's gotten busted for stuff, they'd have
mhm,
found out already. But there's nothing. If they had something on them,
mhm.
you can lock somebody up and charge them even without a body. And
Right.
I hate saying
Yep.
that because I don't want to think that. And I'm not naive,
Yeah.
but
Well,
just speaking about it
bodies
is a
that are
pro me.
alive, you
Yeah.
know? You can think of it that way.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've seen it before where they've prosecuted people,
Hmm.
basically by assuming they're guilty. Some of them weren't, that's inevitable, but
Hmm.
a lot of them, they do end up, they know without a shadow of a doubt that they were guilty. They were just waiting on finding a body. But because they go so long without finding a body, they can still
Hmm.
prosecute.
Yes.
And they
Yep.
haven't.
Right. And where I live, we've actually had that happen 2 times where they prosecuted without a body,
Yep.
not knowing where these people are, if they're alive, if they're dead, nothing. As long as they have circumstantial evidence, I believe,
Yep.
enough of it, they can send them to prison. But I mean, even in this case, I feel like there's nothing, and
And
if
you better
TBI,
believe they're watching. They're watching their
yeah.
social medias.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
watching their bank
definitely.
accounts. They can watch their phones. They can watch their vehicle every time they go somewhere in their vehicles. They're watching everything. But
Yep.
they're not only watching them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know. And, whatever TBI has, they're not going to give it to us. Not
No,
now.
absolutely not.
No. I mean, you can ask your questions on the Q&As and stuff like that, but there's really nothing at this point that they can give
Right.
because it's pretty much all, the electronic evidence and stuff like that. That stuff's never going to come out until this case is solved. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, not to mention too the fact that, I mean, they're not, like I said, they're not only watching them, but they're
Mm-hmm.
watching other folks' movements in the area.
Right.
Um, and if you think that they can't see things by satellite, that's a farce too, because I've seen that in my area in New York where they actually
Yep.
had satellites up in the air, and I'm like, what? I can't get
Yeah.
internet where I live. I have to have an iPad that has a phone line to it, but you can see my eye color from a damn drone up in the sky or a satellite up in the sky.
Right.
It's crazy. The whole thing, and not to mention too that if TBI, FBI, Hawkins County, anything like that actually put any information out, people are
Mm-hmm.
already prosecuting these people from afar. Can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine if they had more knowledge?
Right.
They would probably be murdered.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm way behind in chat, but Jody Sue said they are scamming churches and asked her to join, and they had a falling out at the Baptist before SCA. Oh, yes, I remember this. Did you hear about this, Shannon?
I haven't heard about that. The only
Okay.
falling out I know about is about the property.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know how true that is, Eberk. Eberk. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but yeah, I don't know how true that is actually, because Jody Sue said it, so it's kind of just hearsay.
Yeah, I'm.
Unless somebody else says it or can,
There's not much weight in what she says, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But I've said it before. There's some truth in every lie.
Right.
Um, the only falling out, like I said, that I know of is that when Don had gone to Utah back in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was trying to get Candace to move the rest of the kids up there. They were talking about selling the property because there was better work up there, making more money.
Mm-hmm.
And Candace had gotten a hold of Jody Sue and asked Jody Sue, "Do you know anybody that would want to buy my property?" And she said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I want it." And when Don came back, they decided they weren't selling, they were going to stay there. And Jody Sue got mad, and that was the end of their relationship. So that's been, when Summer went missing, that was damn near almost a year and a half.
Right. No. Um, no actual searching or reaching out for their own daughter. Um, I've
That's not true
actually,
either.
yeah, I've actually heard from someone close to the case that they do their own searches.
Yep. Just not everything needs to be publicized because people take it and run
Right.
with it.
And that's the thing, guys. Like when we're on social media and we're on YouTube and stuff like that, a lot of people are only saying what they've heard or what they're assuming, and stuff like that. We don't actually know what's going on day to day. You know
I
what I
went to
mean?
Dollar General. I went to Dollar General. If you leave the Wells house and you go
Mm-hmm.
on Ben Hill Road onto Beach
Mm-hmm.
Creek, take a right, go all the way down, take a right and go all the way down Lone Star. At the end of that, there's a Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
We went to
Sorry.
the Dollar General and Candace and I were sitting in the car and she was literally watching every kid and every car that went by us. And she said, "That little girl looks like Summer, but that's not
Yeah.
Summer." She was looking to see in every vehicle, even when we were in town shopping, she was watching to see if somebody had Summer.
Right. And it's sad. It's just, it's sad. Because none of us know how we would react if, our child was just missing one day all of a sudden, you know?
Well, and they've, not to mention that, but all of the different agencies that have searched for her, they've
Mm-hmm.
searched miles and miles and miles. And Candace showed me, some of where they searched, and I just couldn't believe it. I said, "They walked this far?" She said, "Yeah, they walked pretty much shoulder to shoulder, but about 10 feet apart, and they just scaled the whole area." Um, I damn sure wouldn't want to walk that far. That was insane.
Yeah.
But with how far they've searched,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know who has your child, where the hell are you going to search? How do you know where to search? Where do
Right.
you all want them to search? Because if they don't know and the police don't know, I don't know how
Right.
anybody else on YouTube would know where to search.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, when the police are searching or when they come out for their searches or echo search, they're pretty much going off of the radius of where the tips are coming in for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if they had any kind of eyes in that area at the time that had seen something strange or, whatever, and they're pretty much going in the area where she disappeared, and that's it. I
And
mean,
you've got
they
to figure
could.
too, when they were on the Dr. Phil show, the reason
Mhm.
Candace was so upset was because they had just gotten a call prior to that somebody, a man was seen with a little girl that looked just like Summer. And
Mhm.
she hadn't gotten word yet. And Dr. Phil's crew said it's time to go on. And they had to
Mhm.
go on to the set. And she was worried because she thought maybe somebody had Summer, but they were going to take her and she was going to get her little girl back. So she was
Mhm.
already worried and just uptight about that. And then after that, they got the phone call saying, "No, it wasn't Summer." So she
Mhm.
lost her all over again at that point.
Right. Let's see. I'm not listening to any rumors. I'm judging them on what has been since seen on live video arrest records. If you believe in what they tell you, then you're being fooled. Well, I don't think she really believes in everything that she's being told. You know what I mean? She's just telling you guys what she's been told, you know? And it's not for her to judge if they're guilty or innocent because she doesn't know,
Right.
you know? And I'm sorry I took that away from you. If you wanted to
No,
say
you're fine. I
something
didn't
on
even
that.
see that. I
Okay.
think you're way back in chat.
I am. You know what? Let me scroll down. See if I see any question marks. Um, has being around the family personally made you feel different about the case? Do you hold strong opinions on about what possibly happened to Summer?
I can't say that I have strong opinions. No, I, like everybody else, go back and forth. When I was talking to J. Marie the other day, I was telling her that, you know, there's even a possibility that it could have been an animal. And I know people have said that before. And I know that there's a lot of people that absolutely refuse to think that. But if you
Mm-hmm.
think about it, Hawkins County, TBI, and FBI never got animal services involved. And they have, I can't remember what kind of cat that is. I don't know if it's a mountain lion or whatever you want to call it. But they also have bears and they have all kinds of stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of those animals, you would think, oh my God, an ugly bear is going to tear the hell out of you. Really, Xavier? Is going to tear the hell out of you, and leave a nasty mess. And that's not true all the time. There's been reports of bears that will actually maul you and leave you there. But there's also been reports of bears. There was actually one that happened up here in North Carolina, but up in the mountains,
Mm-hmm.
because I live on the coast. And they had taken the little girl and dragged her into their den. The bear did, and killed her. And the only reason they found out was because they checked the bear scat. And it's been so long now that if there was bear scat and that was actually what happened, they wouldn't find it now.
Right.
Um, so that's always an option. And then somebody had posted on YouTube as well that one of the cats that's up there is a large size cat. And, when they're on the hunt, they actually howl like a human. They scream like
Right.
a human.
There you go. So
So
that.
I float back and forth. I've got
Mm-hmm.
I've got two or three different ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really want to share all of them just because it's simply speculation. It's me forming my own opinion with no proof.
Right.
And
Right.
if only other people would lead by that same example, this
Mm-hmm.
would be a whole lot cleaner of an issue.
Right. Exactly. And I wanted to ask you about how you said the mountain cat or the mountain lion, they howl. Do you think that maybe what Jody Sue heard that day, if she had heard a scream at all?
That's why that was somewhat pertinent to me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I go back and forth and I'm thinking, not too much of stuff that comes out of her mouth I've believed.
Right.
Um, so who knows if there was actually a scream? But then some people say, well, if there was a scream, wouldn't Grandma and Candace have heard it up on the hill? Then I
Yeah.
go back to, we didn't hear the protesters.
Right. And there was a lot more foliage
That's
at
true. Yeah.
that point. Yeah. So who knows, you know? I don't
And the
live in the
reason,
mountains, you
and
know?
some of the reason why I don't believe Jody Sue is just simple with, if you go back and you listen to her first audio of when she came out, with
Yep.
her statement of what she was doing, she had said, and I quote, I was in the cabin with my kids bullshitting with the TV off, no sound. And then recently, she had said she was at the bottom of the hill waiting for Andy to pick her up.
Right.
So, which is it? Or is it just a money grab?
Right. And a lot of people go back and forth with that, and she's looking less and less credible every day with the things she comes up with and dodging questions, and it's crazy.
And I saw somebody say that law enforcement must not think that it was possible an animal took her. Law enforcement doesn't have anything to go on that we know of other than there's a 5-year-old little girl missing.
Right.
They have said that there's no evidence of abduction. there's
Mm-hmm.
really no evidence of anything.
Right.
That's what people aren't, they're not listening to those words. There's
Mm-hmm.
no evidence of abduction. There's no evidence that Don or Candace did anything. There's no evidence that a neighbor did anything. There's no evidence of anything. Or else
Right.
this would have been solved by now if there was evidence. That's what people aren't getting. They're not digesting what that statement meant.
Right. And guys, just so you know, it's not that we support the Wells. It's not that we don't support the Wells. We're very neutral in this. And you guys know me very well that I'm very neutral when it comes to, certain cases like this because we don't know. We don't have any facts. You know what I
Right.
mean? One day I could be like, oh, it does sound like the parents are guilty. Another day, and I know you guys have all done this before too. One day you can think, oh, wow, maybe they're innocent because, the case seems to be leaning towards this person or that person. And, it's not that we support this one or that one. It's that we really don't know, you know?
No, and if people don't remember what I had said when the last time I was up on your panel,
Mm-hmm.
I had told Candace, because I'm an open book with her, I tell her exactly how I feel about, everything. And I've told her that from the get-go. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. And,
Mm-hmm.
I used to say that I lost friends because of that, but then somebody had told me, well, if you lost them because of that, then they weren't really friends. And that's true.
Exactly.
So I've had people exit my life because sometimes I say I have no filter and sometimes I don't, but it's more so if it needs to be said, it's going to be said. But I
Right.
looked at Candace and I said, the only way I'll stop talking to you is if I found out that there was proof that you either did something or you knew information and didn't turn it in. And she
Right.
said to me, I don't blame you. I'd be the same way.
Yeah.
So she knows where I stand.
Right. Okay, so I'm really behind on the questions. Do you think Don will go back to jail for DUI?
I'm not law enforcement. I'm not a judge and I'm not his probation officer. I mean, he is on probation and that is considered a violation of probation.
Right.
So I mean, it's always a possibility, but
Yeah.
there's other things that has been proven that he's done and not gone to jail for. So I don't know if
Right.
it's a lack of care in the legal system there,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's just because whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's always
And
a
I'm sure,
possibility.
yeah, and I'm sure we'll find out soon. It's not
Yeah,
too far away.
February 7th.
Um, yep. So people need to report the harassment. People need to report the nonprofit organization. Exactly.
So I have heard that this LLC that is claimed to have, that she has supposedly has, that you can look up. My husband has his own company and he has an LLC. And you can go on and you can look it up and it shows the name of the company, when it was started, and their EIN number. And it was said that they had looked it up under her supposed LLC and it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard the same.
Because it was also said that she was keeping receipts from that trip to use as a tax write off, which would
Mm-hmm.
mean that she would end up, not having to pay money in on that when it was actually donated money. So technically that's that's tax fraud.
Right. Now, I don't know if you can answer this question because you didn't really know them before, but why didn't they do all the renovations when they had all the kids there? And what I can say towards that is maybe, like we were saying before, they had always lived in that house the way that it was.
They made it
And
work.
yeah, they made it work. And maybe they just didn't think that they needed the renovations. But then, when CPS got involved and they told them, you got to change this, you have to change this and this, maybe they had never been told before. And now those are the stipulations to get their kids back.
And not to mention too, right now it's just the two of them in the house. And yes, he is paying child support, but child support compared to what an actual child costs to raise and provide for is different, way, way different.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that gets child support knows that. Um,
Right.
so now they actually have more income available to them that they're not putting
Mm-hmm.
out for the kids, to feed them on a constant basis and whatnot, even though she is still buying things for all of them, Christmas presents and just random toys and clothes. Um, there's more money to be used for stuff like that. But also, some people just don't see a problem when it's a problem. Somebody else has to point it out to them. So that very well could be the issue. But I was never
Mm-hmm.
there prior to December, so I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm. Um,
I see, I'm not sure how to say the person's name, but it's like Kara Liz. They said they
mm-hmm.
just subbed and they've peeled in here quite a few times and they needed a new channel that's calming. So I just want to say welcome to that person. I'd like to
Yeah.
see people help J. Marie build her channel.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for summing up. Let's see. Just going through because I'm like so far behind. Right. So if Don does go back to jail, how will Candace pay bills, etc., with no income or payments for kids? You can answer that, and then I'll say something too.
Well, because we all know that that is a possibility that it could happen. I've talked to her about that, and it was more of a, I'll be okay. Um, I don't know that it's a matter of that they have a savings, but I've talked to her about seeking public assistance until she can get herself on her feet on her own.
Right.
So that's an option.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of what I was going to say. If Don does go away, or, even if they had, if none of this happened and they had split or whatever, there's always public assistance out there for single moms. So there's that. They need to find Summer first to have had evidence. They have some, but not to incriminate yet. Yeah,
Right.
that's true. I mean, we don't know what they have, but yeah, so far from what we do know, you know, they don't have much to go off of.
And I also want to point out too, there's been a lot of people that have said, "Oh, and you know who I'm talking about. Oh, I'm 1,000% sure she's on that property somewhere." If those people think that they can do a better job, then I want to say it was almost 200 agencies that have gotten involved and have searched. If
Mm-hmm.
they think they can do a better job than all of those people, I commend the hell out of them. But I'm highly
Right.
doubting that fact.
Right. I don't know what happened, but they do have some issues. Did they hurt their child? No idea. Did some real neglect go on? Yes. Or the boys would not, or the boys would be at home. Yeah, they definitely have, some kind of issues with, their parenting or something like that. Otherwise the boys, and I don't know if we should even speak about them, but otherwise they would have their kids. But that really is another part rather than the case of Summer Wells. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole different part, and it does kind of connect in a way, though. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to separate them, but they are kind of separate in a way, if you guys know what I'm saying. But yeah, they definitely have some issues going on with some kind of neglect or maybe abuse or something, but not that's not always the case in thinking that they may be guilty of hurting their own child. You know what I mean?
And from what
It
I'm aware of,
sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. So we can't really say anything without evidence.
right.
Go ahead.
And what I'm aware of is that CPS was involved prior to Summer missing. Yes, everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from what I believe is that it's because Allie had called them. Um, from what I've been told, the reason CPS was involved was what they would consider unsafe conditions in the home, being
Mm-hmm.
the addition on the home had um, the light switch and the covers and stuff weren't on, so there was wires sticking out. They were capped. I saw them. They may have been uncapped prior. I don't know. I like she said, I can only speak on what I saw. And that
Mm-hmm.
the stairs were considered unsafe. They wouldn't pass code because they have to be at a certain pitch to pass code. So all of these things they wanted them to rectify. And the day that Summer came up missing, it was either that day or the following day. They were coming,
Mm-hmm.
from what I was told, to close the case
Mm-hmm.
because Candace had said they were coming to close the case, and then my daughter comes up missing. She's like, "What the hell's going on with that?" So at
Yeah.
first, Candace had speculated that it could possibly be a rogue CPS worker, but you know, she's got other ideas from that. So
Right. So Cal is saying having a criminal background doesn't mean you're capable of killing your own child. I have a criminal
correct.
history, and I'm far from capable of doing anything like that. Exactly. I mean, we don't even know what happened. You know what I mean? Like we've been saying, you know, it could be, they could be capable of something like that, but they could not, and we don't want to, spread any more rumors or, anything like that. I don't want to say anything is fact here because I know nothing, and the questions that we have for Shannon is pretty much either what she heard, which is not, I mean, it could be fact or it could be just hearsay,
Right. It's secondhand information.
Right. So lie detectors mean nothing. Ted Bundy and Green River Killer both passed polygraphs. Yeah.
And that is
Yeah, I don't
exactly why polygraphs are not admissible in court.
exactly. Yeah. And, guys, I've told you about my experience with the lie detector, and I don't believe in them at all, so.
And you got to figure too, they use that as a starting point. They can look at it and say, okay, we're in the right direction, or, well, we've got
Mhm.
to look somewhere else. It's
Right.
not a complete puzzle there. That's just that's one of the small corner puzzle pieces.
Mhm.
It's like I said, it's a directional.
Right. Exactly. Does anyone really think Candace and Don are masterminds who could pull off a perfect crime? I don't.
Nope. And I said that earlier. They got caught with all their other crimes.
Right. Let's see, Cat. Even if they aren't involved in Summer's disappearance, look at the pictures, the living conditions, Summer's teeth. The kid's teeth rotting out is pure neglect. Dental is free in Tennessee until the age of 18.
I
Well,
do want to kind of highlight that too, as far as her teeth.
uh-huh.
I've never been accused of neglecting my kids. And I don't believe, in my opinion, that I've neglected my kids.
Mm,
But my daughter, in my house in New York, it was an old Victorian style house, and the bottom of the stairs had the very bottom stair wrapped around the wall a little bit. I
mm-hmm.
put up a baby gate, but you can't put it on that bottom stair because it doesn't connect to a wall.
Right.
And she was trying to climb it, and I told her, "Don't climb that. You're going to get hurt." And,
Mm-hmm.
when they're learning how to walk upstairs and everything, they're going to do it anyway, regardless. And I was standing there and I
Mm-hmm.
went to grab her, and she slipped and she hit her mouth on the stairs and she broke a tooth. I took her to the dentist, to her pediatrician, who also had a dentist there. And they said that because it's her baby tooth, it's fine. I was concerned more than the doctor was. I said, that's going
Mm-hmm.
to rot. That's going to rot, and it's going to cause the other teeth around it to rot. She
Mm-hmm.
said, nope, it's fine. It'll fall out before it rots. Well, in fact, she was wrong, and it started to decay, and it decayed the one next to it. So she had to have them removed. So
Right.
if people are saying that because Summer had bad teeth in the front, and that can also be caused by bottles, if she was bottle fed to older than
Mm-hmm.
what some people do, then there you go. Um, my oldest son was born with a half a heart. He's had 3 major open heart surgeries, and he was on a drug called digoxin. Um, and it was a drop. You had to put it in his bottle, and
Right.
they've since recalled it because it rots their teeth. He had to have
Mm-hmm.
some of his teeth surgically removed. So that, in my opinion, was not neglect on my end. So who are we to judge really what happened to her teeth? Nobody has clarified what happened to her teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So again, assuming.
Yeah. We're all assuming. Sorry. Jody Sue's mom is friends with a guy my mom dated. Hold on. Sorry, my thing keeps jumping. Who's known to have kept teen boys hostage at his home. Wow, really? Don't know if that has another do with Summer, anything to do with Summer, but the company they keep tells a lot. Huh. That's
Well, I guess that would also
that's
include
pretty
me. So
interesting. That is interesting though for Jody Sue, you know. And I heard something, and I'm just hearing this, but that Allie is friends with or associated with people as well that are sex offenders and possible traffickers too. So the people that are around that area, it's just and around the wells, that's what I'm saying. Like it could be one of their friends, one of their friends,
Yep.
families, anybody that lives close by or that's associated with them,
If y'all
you
have
know.
never looked at watchdog.com, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Put in your address and it'll show you where all of the registered SOs are. And
Mm-hmm.
it will show you who they are, what they look like, what their crime was, and when they were charged.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that website, we found out I live out in the country, but there was one about a mile down the road. And I
Mm-hmm.
made sure to forewarn my kids, if you see anybody in our yard, you get your butt in the house.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what made you interested in the case and befriending Candace? I think you have answered this before, but this might be a newer person.
Well, I was drawn to the case by Facebook. I saw Summer's face on Facebook and I started messaging Candace and Don. They never answered me. Cher sent an email for me by request and Candace got a
Mm-hmm.
hold of me. And it was just because I don't know what it was. I don't know what drew me to it. It did. And it's out of character for me.
Mm-hmm. I know Candace is suffering the way any other mother should be. I wouldn't be joking around on the 7th-month anniversary. I would be healed over in pain. I don't know if I had seen that, but if you can just let me know where I can find that, where she was joking around. 6 up
Yeah. I was talking to her and she actually sent me a poem that she wrote for Summer on the anniversary. So
on the anniversary. Let's see. No one knows their pain. I respect this caller for sharing truth. Thank you, Marie.
thank you.
I know
I,
how I
I
would
saw that
react.
Sam asked what the website was. I assume that they're talking about the website for, yep, watchdog.com. I see BB Diamond shared
Yep. Yeah, you're down there. I'm way up here
it. I
because
got
I
you.
don't want to miss a question, like an important question. So this person up here is going by what the potential suspects have said. Yes. Yeah. That's what she's going by.
Yep. And
She
I'm
she
not gonna deny that they're potential suspects.
right,
Actually, they're not
exactly.
potential suspects. They are
Hmm.
suspects.
Right.
So are many other people in the area.
Right. Um it's annoying when people say they haven't shed a tear. How the f do they know they aren't with them 24/7?
Yeah, because
Exactly.
the same people actually turn around and say, "Why isn't Candace talking?" Well, how do you know she hasn't shed a tear? She's not talking, and she's not on the internet. I mean, she
Yeah,
has
we
been a
don't.
couple times, but she's not, you know,
Mhm.
anything compared to Donnie. So I don't
Mhm.
know how you know what's going on behind closed doors, but somebody may want to look into you.
Right. Yeah, we don't know, guys.
I don't know why pit bulls
Um,
snort. Oh my god.
I heard him a couple times and I was like,
He's just
oh
sitting
my.
here chewing on his foot, snorting like a pig.
Let's see. I think you might have answered this one. Have you seen Candace and Don actually search for Summer?
We all did. Well, minus Donnie. Donnie was at work, but we all did go out and looking in a couple areas that we were concerned about that we didn't know if they had been searched yet.
Right. Um,
Again, I'll say nothing, not everything needs to be publicized. I mean, it's only
mhm.
YouTube's business because people made it YouTube's business. You
Right.
wouldn't want your entire life's business put out there. But also, I know somebody's going to say, well, my daughter hasn't come up missing or my child hasn't. I get that.
Hmm.
But they didn't per se make it YouTube's business, minus the fact that Don was thinking, oh my God, YouTube's going to help bring my daughter home. He was, in my opinion, was reaching out because everybody is aware that social media has done amazing things for a lot of people.
Hmm. Don never said publicly I had nothing to do with Summer's disappearance until October. That is true.
I'm sure he said it to the
Well,
police, though, the ones that
yeah,
matter.
he may have said it to the police. He hadn't said it like on YouTube or anything like that, but we don't know what he has said to law enforcement.
So I'm way down in the chat, and I want to address that Eberk Manuel.
Sure.
Which name do I prefer for Don Wells? Don, Donnie, Dondis, or Big Daddy? I think personally you're out of line there. I call him Donnie because that's what his family calls him.
Right. Let's see. The law enforcement must not think it was an animal. Sorry for the cats. I really don't know what happened, but I have seen photos, lives, YouTube videos with them, so I have questions. Yeah,
Don't we
I
all,
mean,
though?
we all do.
Yeah. I don't know everything. I have a lot of questions, but I think everybody that knows anything about this case does, and very well possibly even the parents.
Why are you explaining this when Candace says Summer did not walk off the property? Because we don't know that. Even though Candace said she didn't walk off the property, it's a very real possibility that she did. Because we weren't there. We don't know if Candace wasn't paying attention, if she was even really doing what she said she was doing.
5-year-old kids are
Unless,
not predictable.
right.
I can easily say, oh, my son won't eat tomatoes. And then
Mm-hmm.
last night I made BLTs and he wanted
Mm-hmm.
tomatoes on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you never know what they're going to do. And I can tell, well, my daughter's a little bit older now, but I could tell her not to do something. And every time I tell her not to do it, she doesn't do it, and I could think, okay, well, she's not going to do it if I'm not around. But if I'm not around, I don't know, she can go and do it or touch things or walk off. They're very unpredictable, if you have kids. Yes, I do. I can actually put the link in the description when I'm done here. I'll do that for you. Okay, let's see. And if you see any you want to answer too while I'm looking, that's fine. I think Jody Sue never heard the scream. It was to push the Wells narrative, I think. Maybe.
Anything's possible.
We don't know. Yeah. You guys have a lot of good questions and comments here.
But if you think about it too, there's a reason why they moved off that property and got into a big argument after Summer went missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's very sus, Hold on one second, guys. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Jody Sue is shook by Hunter's uncut video naming Andy. Yeah, I would think so.
As she should be.
She seemed like it. Are you the lady that was researching for that psychic entertainer?
Who?
For the psychic entertainer. I don't know what that means.
I don't know anybody that claims to be psychic. So...
Yeah. No, I don't think so. A voice for hope. I think you're thinking of someone else. Let's see. No idea who hurt Summer or took Summer, but everyone in this has lied. Yeah. Yeah, they've all told different stories,
Even Dudley, if you look at Dudley's interview, he has said, oh, the Subaru's been repossessed.
Right.
And I had asked Candace about that, and she said, we've never even been behind because it's auto drafted out of the bank account.
Right. I don't know if you feel comfortable answering this. You don't have to if you don't want to. But how many lies have you caught Candace and Don in? This whole case is based on lies.
I don't really talk too much to Donnie, Big Daddy, whatever you want me to call him. There was one situation where I was talking to Candace and I had asked her a question and she told me she didn't know anything about it. but
Mm-hmm.
then retracted and started telling me about it. But that was in the beginning when she wasn't sure if she could trust me. Um, so she's got to kind of hold some things close to the vest because of what, law enforcement and their PIs have told them. So,
Mm-hmm.
but because the PIs were there, she had asked them and they said, go ahead and talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
Truth for all, Big Daddy. And I think my husband would get a little pissed about that. He's a 6'4", 300-pound guy. I'm pretty sure he'd probably eat somebody for breakfast.
Let's see what this one says. You're not getting it. A child is not going to disappear off this earth, especially when she's with her mother in her house in the basement. A child just don't be gone.
She
Well,
didn't
we don't
disappear off the
know.
earth. She's here somewhere.
Yeah, she is here somewhere, but like I was saying before, we don't know if she was even in the basement. You know what I mean?
Right.
She could have gotten out of the basement and wandered off.
She
There's
had to have made her
so
way out
many.
of that basement at some point. That
Right.
basement, I've gone out that door and I've
Hmm.
seen that door in person. And you can't see through that window. So there's no way
Right.
that somebody knew she was in the basement. So, but the thing
Right.
is if you go outside, out that basement door,
Hmm.
there's literally a footpath that you can
Hmm.
see that's worn into the grass that goes over to her swing. So,
Hmm.
and Candace said that it's not impossible for her to leave that basement and go out to the swing. The
Right.
swing is on clear the other side and you can't see it from the camper. So, I mean, that's her home. That's where she's comfortable. She's not going to sit there and hide in a corner and wait for mommy to come in. She's used to being able to run on that property.
Right. Let's see. Sorry, I'm so behind, Grammy H. It wasn't there last week. I don't know what that means. So sorry. Now I know how all these creators feel when they're like so behind in the chat and then they finally get to something and
I'm
they're
going to
like,
need you to do better.
what does that mean? New here. What does Shannon think of the alleged footprints that the neighbors spoke about?
I think it's very
Good
strange.
question.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And that is another reason why I consider the possibility of an animal or somebody grabbing her up. It wasn't on the Wells property. It was actually on an adjacent property. Um, well, one of them was, and it was only one single footprint in each location. So the only thing I can think of is, either if it was an animal, she may have escaped, or, some animals will pick up their prey and they'll put it down for a minute and then pick it back up. Or if somebody grabbed her up, lost grip of her, because where the footprints were found was not on highly traveled land. There's a lot of farmland there. So I'm just as clueless as everybody else on all of that. I really don't know what to think. Uh-oh, did we lose her?
Who?
Nope, there she is.
Oh.
Are you with us?
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. Oh my God. I'm having issues today. Okay. Where were we? Okay. Did you answer this question?
I did. I said I really don't know what to think because, that kind
Okay.
of brings me back to the animal thing because they do drop their prey and then pick them back up. And then, if it's somebody that grabbed her up, then, they could have lost grip of her and that the footprints were in separate locations and not highly traveled areas.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only one
Right.
single footprint in each location. And it was a
Yeah.
barefoot footprint from my understanding.
Okay. Do you know if Don and his kids went on a trip after Summer went missing? I never heard of that.
I know they all went to Gatlinburg prior to that, because the pictures that you see of Summer outside and with the little sack of whatever in her hands, it's when they were going gem mining.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm aware, they have not gone anywhere except for with the obvious pictures of when I don't remember his name, the flute guy took the kids
Mm-hmm.
uh, golfing and to the airplane.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've heard of. Um, Eberk, I don't know. I don't know if what you're. I would let my child swing unattended on that swing in the yard. Yeah.
You don't expect people to be nearby. That's why you live in the country.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would. I mean, I wouldn't be too far away. You know what I mean? But if you mean like unattended, like totally gone, then no. You know what I mean? But close by, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Listening to you talk, going to the swing is different than, oh crap, where'd it go? Well, it's on the screen. Different than disappearing. It. Remember what Candace said, 2 minutes. How far do you think a 5-year-old can go within a 2 minutes? Think about it. We were actually, me and you were just talking about this the other day when people say, oh, I'm going to the store, I'll be 2 minutes. You know, it's not 2 minutes. You know what I mean? It could be 5, 10 minutes, right?
And you could ask my son, how many times do I tell him just a minute? Just a minute.
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah.
take some terms so seriously, it
Mm-hmm.
very well could have been. For Christ's
Yeah.
sakes, I had to look at my tablet to find out what day it was the other day. I don't keep track of time either until I look at my phone or look at my tablet. And then I'm like, oh crap, I
Right.
gotta get doing stuff.
Yep. I do it all the time. I'm like, yeah, I was gone for like 2 minutes and you're already messed up the house. I
Yep.
was gone for 5, 10 minutes, You can't really take that literally. Okay, this person missed the NDA thing. It was just pretty much so that you didn't take pictures or videos on the property. That's it. Nothing too big. Okay, what do you think about Dudley's statements about Jose being in the picture days before Summer went missing?
I'm sorry,
I,
what was that? My little one was talking to me.
no, it's okay. What do you think about Dudley's statements about Jose being in the picture days before Summer went missing?
Well, for the fact that he's been tracked down and he's in another country and he's gotten
Mm-hmm.
married, but also the fact of uh, how did Dudley meet Jose?
Right. If
Can he
he's
prove that?
just, that's another thing. He said that he barely went over there, and when he did, it was just so
He
that
said
they
he went
can,
there once and it was to pick up his paycheck and he took his wife with him and she stayed in the car.
right. And then I've heard that he went up there twice with his wife. And then in another interview, I heard him say once. And then maybe in those same two interviews, he had said that he went there so that he can leave his vehicle there and leave with Don. So it seems like most of the time that he was there, it was in the morning. So I don't see how he would have even came into contact with Jose.
Yeah.
And then Jose's been out of the country for almost a year.
Not to
So,
mention, too, you can see it in the videos of when he led the protesters to where Don worked. He's the mole, by the way.
yep.
That he drives a yellow, I think it's a Nissan Xterra or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's also the picture that was up on the hill, right? When Summer was
Yeah.
dancing in the rain.
Yep.
Now tell me why it is in his interview. He said he met Summer once and it was at the job.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know what? I think it was a big mistake for Dudley to come out more than once. I think he should have told his story and he should have left it at that.
Yeah. When
Because
you
you know
lie, you
what?
can't remember what you lied about and who you lied to.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm not really going to answer any more questions about the boys because I don't think she'd be able to talk about it anyway.
I've never met them and I really don't know much about them because of
You
the
know,
fact that they can't talk about them either.
right. So Dudley will say anything that will make people suspect to Don. Yeah, because, Don fired him.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's not really a credible person to speak to, especially, Allison and, all those people. Cam and Allie are getting mass hate right now, unfortunately. Do you feel they are helping or hurting the case? They seem genuine.
So they've only been up there a few times, and a lot of the times that they've been up there, the Wells weren't home. And it was because he had talked people, I can't really say talked them into, but had coordinated with other people that have businesses to come up there, such as the drones and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
there was actually there was one time when I was up there that he was up there and we had gone into town. And when we came back, the droners were actually leaving. Nobody was home. And they were people that he had coordinated with to get up there. So he's just somebody, in my opinion. I did meet him, and he is
Mm-hmm.
just somebody that is trying to do what he can do to help find Summer. It's not really per se about the Wells. It's, just it's Summer. And
Yeah.
that's I think that's pretty much the way all of us are. Because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get involved because I wanted to know Candace and wanted to know Don. I got
Mm-hmm.
involved because I saw Summer's face in a post on Facebook.
Yeah.
This 100% is and should be and should stay about Summer.
About Summer, right? Southern and Sassy. Why would a kidnapper only take Summer when Summer looks just like a boy and three boys were there all day long with no adults? Their aunts or adults there. Sorry. Answer that question for me, please. I'm not sure.
Well, that would tell me that Summer was outside.
Yeah, that would tell me that too, but I wouldn't, because the kidnapper isn't going inside the house. You know what I mean? If there is one, they're not going inside the house. In my opinion, I think if she was kidnapped, I don't think anybody came onto the property. I think she might have wandered off, got down the hill, and that's when somebody saw her, whether she was on Beach Creek or on Ben Hill.
Well, they've found her scent, but you've got to figure too that they have said that you can leave your scent anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're up in the air, and it's just based off the fact that your body is continuously shedding skin cells, and that's what those dogs are finding. um
Right.
they found her scent going down that trail, but no footprints. And it was headed down towards Ben Hill Road.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point she had to have ended up on Ben Hill Road and then made her way around to Beach Creek.
Yeah. And I'm saying if she ended up on Ben Hill Road and didn't make it to Beach Creek, then I'm saying it's one of the neighbors. If she did make it to Beach Creek, could be anybody. And like you said, the footprints, with the footprints evidence or, the scent evidence, she could have made it to Ben Hill. I mean, to Beach Creek. Sorry.
I keep
Um,
seeing somebody saying no way in. Candace said no way in, no way out. That is true. She did say that. And that's because that door that's downstairs that goes outside is locked from the inside.
yeah,
And when she leaves, just like anybody else,
she locks it.
when you leave your kids home and they're old enough to stay home by themselves, you tell them lock the doors behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So what she was referring to is that when they had gone to town, they left the boys behind because they were expecting to only go to take grandma to the doctor for her knee,
Mm-hmm.
which she has a knee replacement.
Right.
Um, and to go pick up her, ended up going and having to pick up her prescription. But when they figured it was going to be a while because of COVID, there was
Mm-hmm.
a long line. I mean, I've had to go to the emergency room with my kids because
Mm-hmm.
my son had a massive double ear infection and ended up with a fever. And I was concerned because of COVID. And here, even the smaller hospitals you go to and you're going to wait 4 or 5 hours. So I believe that that's why she ended up going over and getting H and taking him to the watering hole.
Yeah.
But that's just it, is that when you leave, you don't expect to end up having to do all this stuff. So you just tell the kids, here, stay here, play your video games or whatever, lock the door behind me. That's the
Right.
no way in, no way out. But I don't understand the no way out thing. I think it was just an expression, because
Yeah.
obviously
And
you
I
can get
think,
out.
yeah, because I think the boys, I mean, with their ages, they would know not to open that door, so it was no way out for them. But I know in the Chris interview, she had said that Summer, or somebody said, I think it was Don, either Don or Candace, one of them said that she can pull herself up and unlock that door. So unattended, she would be able to open the door. But I think she was more speaking about when the boys were home.
Yeah, Summer could have opened that door. It's just a typical one of the thick metal doors with a normal lock and a deadbolt. And the deadbolt was just one of the silver knobs that it's the elongated shaped one that you just turn.
Yeah. So
She
it's
could have
easy to
reached that.
turn. Yeah. And I believe Dawn had said that she has turned it before.
Yeah.
So, if an animal or bear had gotten to her, would not bones or some remains have been found by searchers?
Go back to what I
Um,
said about animal
yeah.
services never got involved. They never looked for animals
Hmm.
because there's no evidence of an animal, but there's also no evidence the parents did anything. There's also no evidence of a kidnapper. There's no evidence of anything, just that she's
Yeah.
gone. That's where they're at a standstill.
Hold on, traced her search. Don Wells brought Dudley Agent into all this. Dudley didn't bring himself into this in it. Yeah. He when he made that phone call to Molly, I think that's at the point where Dudley Agent was brought up and then he was brought into this.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, is it true that they want to move?
Um, the only thing that was said to me was when Don lost his job, he was considering going back to Utah because there was a job that he had up there when he was up there in October of 2020 or whatever
Mm-hmm.
month it was. I think he came back in October, but he was up there for, I think, 4 months was what was reported. Um, Other than that, because of YouTubers and fake friends and the protesters and whatnot, there's been times where Candace has said, I'm sick of this. I just want to get the hell out of here. And she was considering a 3-bedroom house. I think, no, 3 or 4 bedroom house
Mm-hmm.
that was on foreclosure, but I think she finally realized that they can't do that. And that home is paid for. And
Right.
that's where her kids were born and raised. And, if it was me, I don't know about anybody else, but if it was me, I'd want to get the hell out of Dodge too. I mean, come on. I'd have been that chicken shit to pack up and leave because I'm not dealing with that crap.
Mm-hmm. So there were bear tracks found in the search. A bear could take you miles away. That is true. I
I didn't
have
hear
heard
anything about a
that.
bear truck.
I didn't hear about the bear tracks, but that fact is true that a bear can take you miles away before they eat you, you know?
Yep. Yep. Because they want to keep they want to keep their, whatever they grab, whether it's an animal or whatever, they grab it and they're very predatory animals and they're very greedy animals, I guess you could say, because they'll take whatever
Yeah.
it is. And I was telling you earlier, actually, that my kids and I watched this bear video on YouTube. That it's a
Mm-hmm.
live cam, and you can watch the bears in the rapids catching fish as they jump. And
Yep.
there's one bear that'll try to reach up and grab that fish, and the other bear will slap the hell out of it. They're very greedy. They don't share.
Yep.
They're not like a pack of dogs where they sit and eat
Right.
together.
Right. Exactly. And when I saw that question, I thought about what what you had said earlier. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a good question or a good statement, guys. Did you not hear Don when he said Summer would never be found and he has some alibis, Candace has none? What do you think he was saying when he said he knows what happened to Summer?
I think he's just speculating.
Yeah.
He said that he's pretty sure somebody took her and trafficked her. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but then also he doesn't think she's coming back because, some people are pessimists. And I believe that, he's dealt with so much stuff that's not good in his life. He's going to automatically assume it's not good. Um,
Right.
you know, just like all these
Mm-hmm.
people on YouTube are assuming she's dead.
Right.
He's doing the same thing in a way. Sometimes he goes back and forth. Like, I just want them to bring my daughter home. And then he's
Right.
going back and forth to, she's not going to come home. But
And I
Candace has
mean,
not wavered from, she believes Summer's coming home.
right. And I mean, if it does come back, that Don really did know something or Candace really did know something, we can come back to this and just be like, maybe they were trying to lead people in a different direction or
Yep.
whatever. I mean, that has happened, but we don't know for sure, you know,
And that's
guys.
always a possibility. And I'm not going to ever say that it's not a possibility.
Right.
And that's why I made my statement to Candace of if I ever found out that she had had any involvement or knew any, had any knowledge and didn't report
Mm-hmm.
it, then I would completely just, there's nothing more I can do than to stop talking to her. What else am I going to do?
Right. Right.
So in my opinion, if I cut all ties, if something like that happens, then that's the only thing I can do in that situation. So that's what I would
Right.
do.
And I know one day, guys, you know, we're going to come back here and we're going to be on a live and we're going to be discussing, you know, what was said and, you know, what the speculations were and everything like that when we do find out the truth. And who knows? At that point, the parents could be innocent. One could be innocent. One could be guilty. Or they could both be guilty. You know what
And
I
there's a very
mean?
good possibility that somebody on YouTube has already come up with the right answer. But
Right.
who is that? Because there's so many things going around.
Exactly. Exactly. You know?
I would rather say that I'm on the fence and I don't want to jump to conclusions and then
Mm-hmm.
not have to apologize later
Right.
or not have to admit, yep, I stuck up for them and I was wrong, or I condemned them and they didn't do anything and then I have to apologize for that. It's not,
Right.
I'm not going to do that because I wouldn't want that done to me either.
Right. Um, so nobody got a kid in 2 minutes from the basement with 5 other people at home and 2 adults outside, as Candace claimed. Nope, don't buy it at all. I don't either. I don't think anybody went into that basement and snatched her. You know? Um, how does Don know there is no evidence unless he's involved? Well, he does talk to the police, right?
Yeah, they talk to the police.
Okay. So I think, you know, maybe the police don't tell them everything, but, you know, if there's no evidence, you know, the police might be telling them that.
Matter of fact, when I was up there and they had contacted the police to come up there because of a certain YouTuber trespassing on the hill, I'll say again too that I was up there on that hill outside. I was one of the ones that was laughing, um, and we never heard her down there.
Mm-hmm.
But when the police were there, the head of the case for TBI was there, and they had asked him, "Have you gotten anything?" And he said nothing. He told her nothing.
Yeah.
But a lot of the communication goes through the PIs too. So, the PIs, they work, they report everything that they hear or see, and they're monitoring YouTube and Facebook and everything else. And they report everything to TBI. TBI doesn't give them any information, and it's a one-way street. So,
Mm-hmm. So Dudley got free meals and free drinks. I think he was paid for that interview. He's a fired, disgruntled employee. So yeah, you know, I knew that if somebody interviewed him, there was going to be issues, and I have to admit that I was going to interview him, and they had canceled with me. They did not ask me for any money, so I don't know if he was paid by them or not. But
so
you know,
if you think
in
about it though,
hindsight, yeah,
if you think about it though, Dudley watches YouTube,
yeah, he
and
does.
his interview came last. And every time that she went and interviewed Allie, the first
Mm-hmm,
time she said she gave Allie whatever cash she had in her purse. The second
mm-hmm,
time she had said that she was going there with a gift card. Um, so and everybody that she has interviewed, she's paid in some way or another. And if you
mm-hmm.
think about it too, they went to it looked like a hibachi place, and those places are typically, pretty good priced, high
Yes,
priced.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
first thing he ordered was sushi. He knew what he was doing.
right.
And his wife had a cocktail in front of her. So that's
Yep.
definitely when I go out somewhere and somebody else is buying, I try to be modest with what I get.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. Did you ever meet Christopher Marcos?
I don't even know who that is.
So that's a no, guys. All right, let's see. Well, Cam said something else about the NDA. Wonder what he said. Can you tell us what he said, Southern and Sassy? Let's Let's see. I read a couple of your questions, Vanessa. I think I got to a couple of them.
And if there was anything she asked that I didn't answer, ask away. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not picking and choosing what I answer.
Hey Amber, so this is Shannon. She's a friend of Candace's, and we're just asking a bunch of questions tonight so she can clarify some things for some people. Let's see. Kim also said he already broke the NDA.
He did. That's what he said.
Oh wow.
Well, he did that because he had videoed a couple things that he wanted to clear up with
Mm-hmm.
people on YouTube. Um, I technically broke the NDA myself. When I was up there, I had taken a picture of the mountain that you can see when you're looking past Summer Swing, and I sent it to my husband. I also was on, I had called home to talk to my kids, and
Mm-hmm.
my husband put them on video chat, and I
Mm-hmm.
was showing them the dogs and showing them the mountains and stuff like that. But I had asked permission first.
Okay. Don Wells told Dudley all that. That's how Dudley knew. It is because Don Wells told him that about Jose. Yeah, so it was pretty much hearsay.
And it's not
Candace,
guaranteed to be true either.
right, exactly. None of it is. You know, what anybody says isn't guaranteed to be true because we don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Candace also said Summer was in the basement, not on the outside. Right, she did say that, but we don't know, you
But she
know?
also said she doesn't know if she went out the door to go to her swing.
Right. Uh, Dudley said he'd met Summer a couple of times, once on the job, once at the house. Yeah, see,
In his first interview, he did. In his second interview, he said he
yeah,
only met her once at the work site. But then
right.
his vehicle was in the picture where Summer was dancing in the rain.
Okay. Let's see if I see any more. Okay, Vanessa. Stop justifying what Candace means. Candace said what she said. You can't assume what happened when you was not there. Like we were not there. Every time someone said something in the comments, you justifying. She's not justifying. She's just saying what she heard, or you know what she thinks.
Just the
She's
same
not
as
just
everybody else's.
yeah, and we've already clarified that. Yeah, she said she was down in the basement playing. But like I said, we don't know for sure. She could have went out the door. Dudley probably met Summer when he was riding with Don Wells, and then Don got home and he got in his truck. Think about it. He rode to work with Don. Yeah. Let's see if there's any more questions. Sorry, I'm just going through. Most of the stuff's about Dudley.
I don't know him. I've never met him. I've seen just as much from him as you guys have seen on YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
Don and Candace have never talked to me about him. So
What did Don say? Go get Summer, not Candace. Go get Go get Summer. All right. Let's see what this question is. What about Don going to Kentucky within days?
I want to say Cher asked him that question, and he had said
Mm-hmm.
no, he didn't. I want to say that was when they had said that Robin had talked him into coming back, and Robin had confirmed that was untrue, and Don had said that it was untrue.
I don't know if you would know this, but so if Grandis was in so much pain, why would she go to the swim hole and all the other places with Candace that day?
I couldn't tell you. We haven't talked about that.
Yeah.
I mean, she has told me about her knee, that
Mm-hmm.
she's limited to 4 pounds lifting, and that she's had 3 back surgeries and has a knee replacement. So she does take anti-inflammatories and medications for that kind of stuff. She's pretty broken.
Yeah. Okay. When you turned the deadlock or the deadbolt, was it hard to turn? Was there like a tug to it, like, or was it pretty easy to turn?
It was easy. It was just a normal lock. It didn't seem like it was caught up or anything. Sometimes the door jambs will swell or whatever and make it hard to close. And I didn't lock that one. I had told Candace to lock it behind me, but when I
Mm-hmm.
opened it to go out, I didn't have any issues.
Okay. Um, I saw something today of text between Candace and Hunter. Then Grandis was then Grandis was in the hospital June 4th, and Candace picked up Hunter that day as well. Yeah, I saw that too. But I guess that was sent by Don, or it could have been just sent by somebody and it was a made up text. We don't know.
I
Um,
asked Candace about that and whether it's true or not. What she told me, she
mhm,
said she doesn't know anything about that, which also brings me to the idea of that guy that had claimed that he was talking to Candace and she wanted to
mhm,
leave Don for him. I had
mhm,
sent a screenshot to J. Marie earlier showing that I had been talking to Candace on Facebook. And if you look at the top of it, it says Candace Wells. If you look at that guy's screenshots of these messages supposedly between him and her, it just says Candace.
mhm. Vanessa,
And
I
her name
have
has never been just Candace on Facebook. It's either been Candace Bly or Candace Wells.
I've been answering, or I've been putting your questions up, and even you saying that I haven't been answering your questions. So it says, "Good question, voice of hope." She would not answer those questions like you won't answer my questions. Is all her speculation. I'm sorry if I'm missing questions, but the it jumps, and sometimes I don't see all the questions. And I've answered a few of your questions already.
And not to mention, too, if I don't know for certain, I do tell
Great.
you that that's what I've heard or that's what I think in my personal opinion. And if there's things that I absolutely don't know about, I tell you. Just like you asked me who that one Christopher something. I don't know who he
Mm-hmm.
is. I'm not going to tell
Yeah.
you I do.
Right. What did Don mean when what he said about Summer's hair was longer now?
I want to say that came from a dream that he had where he said he saw her in a dream and her hair was longer, but I could be wrong. I guess you dream of things, even if you're awake, you think of, oh my God, what does she look like now if she's still around?
Right.
I would assume 7 months later, if she's still around, then her hair's grown.
Yeah, exactly. A voice for hope. How did Grandis get to the ER if Candace had to pick her up? She brought her to the ER before. She
She
brought her
took
to
her there,
the
yeah.
ER. Yeah, she took her there, and then she went to Hunter's house, and then she picked up Grandma. There's no mention of Grandis' truck needed driven home. Yeah, they took Grandma's truck.
Yep.
They dropped her off at the hospital, and then her and Summer went over to Hunter's or Allie's, and then they picked Grandma up. I've never heard of an emergency room giving you an appointment at 8 a.m. in the morning. Now, I've heard that this was kind of like, do you know the details of that hospital? If it was an emergency room or if it was like kind of like a clinic?
I don't know anything about that. I do know that Allie said that it was a hospital there in Kingsport.
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
I don't know for certain if it's not a like a quick med or
yeah.
I think they're called different things in different areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like here we have a walk-in, and we have ones where you can just walk in, or you can also make an appointment, and
Yeah, like
those are
urgent care, quick
located.
med.
Yeah,
Here,
urgent
even
care.
some of the Walgreens have a minute clinic,
Mm-hmm.
or that could be CVS. I'm not sure. I haven't
Yeah,
used it.
but yeah, some over here we have one in our emergency room, so
Yep.
that might be what she's talking about, and they're just saying like ER, you know.
But was it actually confirmed from anybody that knows factually that there was an
Mhm.
appointment.
Right. I mean, that's what Candace said.
Okay, well then that would
That
fill
was
me
part
in.
of her. Yeah, it was part of her story in the beginning. So
Okay.
I think that that would be, if you believe her. Um, I believe her on that part. I mean, there's no reason to lie, and Grandma confirmed it. Okay. Yeah, the flute guy was very suspect. Playing a song for summer at sunset. That's sick. I don't know if that's sick, but
Well, and
I
not to mention
suspected him.
too that he took off and went to another church. I mean, what are you, a church hopper? Now, granted,
Yeah.
yeah, Don did go to two different churches. However, this
Mhm.
guy literally changed his religion to marry a
Yep.
woman very
Yeah.
shortly after Summer went missing.
Right. Yeah, and I suspected him for a while and had a couple theories about him, but I don't know. And like they said, anybody who's moved away or gotten up and gone quickly, and there's
Yep.
been a few of them. So I mean, it can't be all of them, but you know, Don said they don't talk to them about the case. I don't know if he would really tell us if that was true or not. Let's see. Remember, Don has served some time in prison. Don, what to say and how to say it. He is a criminal. That's possible, that he could be using his tactics or skills that he has learned. And that's if he's guilty. If he's not, then we don't know. That's a good statement, though. Thank you. Let's see. No evidence of abduction, but he doesn't know what other evidence there is. Law enforcement isn't going to tell them because they are POI. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
they're not going to tell them everything, but at the same time, they are the parents, so they're going to give them updates.
Yep, they've been told if there's certain tips that, led to
Mm-hmm.
something and things like that. Just like they were called and said when they were at Dr. Phil, hey, there's somebody that we saw that could possibly be Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, how would they know that?
Right. So the crappy tips are from you guys mostly. Who? I don't know what that means.
I think they mean YouTubers. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Oh,
A lot of them
maybe.
do
Yeah.
come from YouTube, though, from viewers of
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah. Does anybody think law enforcement is going to give y'all or any of us evidence? No, not at all. No, they're building their case, right?
Yep.
Um, let's see. I'm trying to look for more questions. If you see any, let me know.
Well, I see that Moulin Rouge said, look how many people come off that hill to talk BS. I agree. And I really hope that you
Mm-hmm.
don't think that I'm that type of person either, because I've
Right.
not said anything to condemn them.
Right.
And matter of fact, Candace knows when I go, on YouTube, and I
Mm-hmm.
send her the link so she can watch it herself.
Mm-hmm. How does Don explain going to Kentucky right after? I think we just talked about that, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know that he went there, and I've missed some stuff on YouTube, obviously, because I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. And we kind of just don't want to go off of what we heard on YouTube either, guys, because it's all speculation.
I do know that there was somebody accusing him of going on a trip somewhere, and
Mm-hmm.
that Robin supposedly had to talk him into coming back, and he said that wasn't true. Now, if that was Kentucky, I don't know, but I don't know
Yeah.
that he has any ties to Kentucky. His family's all in Utah. He has lived in multiple states, but that's because he was a military
Mm-hmm.
brat. So, he was born in Florida. He's lived in Texas. Candace
Mm-hmm.
was born in Texas. So she's lived there. She's lived in Utah. She's lived in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sam, she brought her there. If you watch Chris McDonough, I think has the full story. There's a couple interviews where Candace tells her story. It's all on there. So the lady on panel, Her name's Shannon. Have you met Benny Keys?
I did. Yep.
Okay. Are the wells tested for substances while going through the CPS process?
They are.
Okay. I mean, you don't have to give details because I don't want to really go there. Who is Tim Mullen? I think this person might have missed who he was.
So Tim is a local person that writes columns for a Kingsport media channel on the internet. And he had reached out to Robin from the church and asked Robin if she could contact Don Wells and see if that, he needed somebody to, once he saw the case getting so big, he reached out and said, do you need somebody to take care of media stuff for you, social media,
Mm-hmm.
anything with the news, stuff like that. So when they go on the news, it's because Tim has arranged it for them. Um, told them, this is the person you're going to meet, this is where you're going to meet them, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Don had agreed, and now Tim is doing what Tim does. I did meet him. We didn't get, close or anything. It was just a, hey, Tim, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm Shannon.
Okay. What about Benny Keys? What about it?
What about
She
Benny?
met him. She met him up there. That's.
He lives
I
clear on the other
mean,
side of the country from me. Um,
yeah. So I don't.
while I
I don't
was
know what
there,
to make.
I was doing my thing. He was there. He was doing his thing.
Yeah, I think they were mostly there just to visit, and they were there for the protesters.
Yeah, because we had both told Candace that, we would help with whatever they needed to keep the
Mm-hmm.
protesters from doing, whatever on the property or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what people like that are going to do. I mean, they speak very loudly online, and then, they seem like they're kind of risky.
Right. Candace did say no, she wouldn't go out to her swing. Yeah, I mean, she said that, but we don't know what Summer would do.
Nope, I've never met
She,
her.
right. Candace could be wrong. Don and Candace are 100% positive a human got her, not a bear. Yeah, I don't really know about the whole animal thing. It's just one of my theories, along with others, and we don't know. But yeah, if they're 100% sure that a human got her, they're also 100% sure that somebody came into the basement. I mean, they didn't say that they were 100% sure, but she thinks that he went into the basement, and that's not possible.
They're guessing too, just like we all are.
Who's telling people what to do?
I think that was way back.
Oh, I am way back.
Probably resolved by now, whatever it was.
Yeah, my mods are here, so because Candace said she won't go walking ever because of the bears. Yeah. Yeah.
I think when she says that, though, it's more so
Right.
down, down off the hill and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, because the top of the hill where the house is and where they park the vehicles is wide open.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, not everybody's not every 5-year-old's gonna do what their parent says either.
Right. My
Okay.
6-year-old doesn't.
Did Don and Candace tell you specifically what their top theory is? So we'll read that question first and then the next question. So have they
Don
told
didn't.
you?
Don
Okay.
didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Candace did, and
Mm-hmm.
she's pretty speculative of some neighbors,
Okay.
if you get what I'm
And
saying.
yeah. And what was your take on the dogs barking? Like if someone went up there, do you think they would be heard?
No, they didn't bark at me when I got there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't bark at Benny when he was getting tasered in the yard. When he asked to be tasered, and I'm like, are you sick in the head? You really want to be tasered, or tased? And they didn't bark at that. I mean, my dog would bark at that. Any kind of loud noises or anything, my dog would bark at. They didn't bark. The only dogs around there that bark is if you go all the way down the driveway, take a left on the very corner of the two roads. There's a house
Yeah.
there that has a big fence out back with a couple dogs in it, but they're
Mm-hmm.
barking 24 hours a day because they live outside.
Right.
But their dogs are very, very friendly. Um, they're puppies. Most of the dogs that are there are the puppies that were under the house
Mm-hmm.
when Candace did the interview.
It feels like the footprints are the only evidence of Summer leaving the property.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
But the question remains, how did they get there?
Right. Do you know anything about Grandma leaving?
She left about 5 weeks after Summer went missing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because she has her doctor in Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
and she keeps her doctor in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to go up there because of the knee replacement, and because of the back surgery and everything to get her prescriptions and to be seen. So she continues to go up there for that. And because I think it was her sister's husband had a heart attack. So she is
Mm-hmm.
helping her sister take care of him because she's actually the youngest out of all of the kids. And so her
Mm-hmm.
sister is much, much older than her.
Right.
So she's not really capable of doing the heavy lifting and things. So they actually it was grandma and the sister, and then
Mm-hmm.
grandma's kid or the sister's kids were there helping.
Right. So yes, she did meet Tim Mullen. What was your impression of him? Like, did he seem like he was on the up and up?
I
I
haven't
mean,
really, I don't really, haven't really talked to him that much.
yeah. Yeah, you
The
said it
whole
was
time
like
he was
literally for
outside,
like 2 minutes, right?
pretty much, yeah, he was pretty much outside for the most part doing his own thing, and he walks the property. And I don't know if he's walking the property to look for clues, or if he's doing it for protection to see if there's anybody down there, because they still get people that drive by and scream up the hill derogatory things like what the protesters were screaming.
Okay, please ask this person on panel, why did Candace talk to you, not Dr. Phil, not the behavioral panel, not TBI? What you saying is he said, and what she did, why she talked to the authorities. I don't understand the last part of the question, but I'm assuming the reason why she's talking more to her friends are because they're her friends.
So
You
I took it very slow with her. Like I said, when I first started talking
know?
to her, I would ask her, "How are you doing?" And I was relentless with it. I'd ask her, "How are you doing?" And she'd say, "Okay," very small answers. And right up until the day I got there, and I've continued talking to her, and I've built trust with her, and I've not done anything wrong to her. So when you have somebody that's coming into your life that's proving those things to you, you're going to trust them a little more than you would a talk show host.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and you're on TV, you're nervous,
Right.
especially with cops.
They were in a whole nother world being in California.
Thank you guys. Yep, outpatient clinics.
I see one I want to address, and it's from Zam. Yes,
Okay.
her brother got out of prison and he is a RSO.
Mm-hmm.
However, they have nothing to do with him. Absolutely nothing. I've heard
And
nothing
he's
but bad about him from them. So it
yeah,
wasn't anything to do with that.
and he's not even in the area, right?
I don't know where he's at.
Okay.
There was very minimal talk about him, but what was said was bad.
Yeah, I've heard really bad things. What do you think about the tree service that was there that day?
From what I'm told, they were all thoroughly vetted, and Don said that he had talked to them as well, and that some of them were very. Now, this was something he had said on YouTube, but that some of them were very hurt by the thought of it.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. Don said he left home about 7:30 that morning. Summer was still sleeping. How did Granny and Candace get to the hospital at 8? Yeah, see, this is the part where it's like the times are off. And that's another reason why, we're not able to like try to like, we're doing a lot of speculating because the times that are being told to us really don't make sense. And you
Yeah, and
kind
I
of
don't
got
know
to
the
just
answers to
go,
that either.
yeah, you kind of just got to go by the fact. Like, we know for a fact, and it can be proven that, grandma was at the hospital between 8 and 8:30. She got there and she was there until about, I think it was like 10:30,
And it was
something like
proven. The
that.
police had looked into it. The police have
Yeah.
actually
So,
seen Summer on camera
hmm,
when they went to some of those stores. So, it was
yeah.
proven that she did leave the water hole. It was proven that she was alive.
Hmm.
Um, you know, and I was told, Grandma had told me that that outfit she was wearing, she had bought that for her first day
Uh-huh.
of school, and that she had paid
Right.
$20 for that outfit.
And Don saying that he left home at 7:30, he may be mistaken, you know,
Very
because
possibly, yeah.
obviously Candace and Grandma and Summer would have had to leave about an hour before, before her appointment. And if her appointment was at 8, they left
But I don't
around
know that
7.
anybody ever said whether Don was home when they left, did they?
The only thing, Don did an interview and he said that, I guess he had been asked, like, what happened that morning. And he said that he had woken up at 7:30. And that's
Oh, that is
why,
right. Yeah. And that he
yeah.
left
And
when
that's
she was
why,
still sleeping.
Vanessa's saying that, and that is a valid question,
Yeah.
because it could either mean, he's not remembering what time he left, or he's lying about the time that he left,
Right. And
or,
I do know that
mhm,
Don goes to work and leaves work when he chooses.
right, right. So he might have left after they left, we don't
Right.
know.
Yep.
But he did say that when he woke up, they were still sleeping.
Yeah. And see,
So,
I try not to question them too much about the day, that
mhm,
on June 15th. I try not to question them too many, ask
mhm,
them too many things specific about that. Um, I'll ask questions about, what do you think of this? Or, hey, this is what's being said on YouTube. What's your take on it?
mhm,
But as far as that day, I think we know all we're going to find out at this point. Um, so it's kind of I involve myself in what's being said and what they say, and what we hear on the news and whatnot. And then I throw it past her and see what she tells me.
right. So hospital, Candace said hospital, not Walgreens, not CVS, not Medicare, the hospital. Yeah. I mean, we have a walk in my hospital. We have an ER. We have a maternity ward. When I go to the hospital, I say I'm going to the hospital. If somebody's having a baby, I don't say I'm going to the maternity ward. You know what I mean?
And
Or
they use
I,
very layman's terms too.
yeah, it's just very, when people say things like that, some people say, I'm just going to the hospital, even if you're going to the doctor's office, you don't say, I'm going to the gynecologist, I'm going to the doctor's,
Yeah.
just very plain, simple.
I see someone here had Cara Liz. She had replied to Joy, and she said that Don had shot. He stood at the edge of the hill and
Hmm.
shot it. I'm assuming she's talking about the flare. He
Yeah.
actually didn't. We had walked down by the bus, and then he went back up to the truck and
Hmm.
got the flare gun that was sitting on the back of the truck and shot it from up where the vehicles are parked in front of the that front door there.
Hmm.
And then we all went back down, or well, I was standing up there because I went to get my phone because I wanted to see
Hmm.
if they were on YouTube live, and then I remembered that they didn't have signal, so it's kind of disappointing. But
Yeah. All right, here's a question. Can someone tell me who this is we are listening to up on panel? See, I'm behind, so you might already know, but this is Shannon. This is Shannon, Candace's friend. All right, let me try to get down here more.
somebody else asked, why does Shannon feel the need to come on YouTube? Again, no disrespect, but I'm curious about people who get involved with situations like this. Just curious. Um,
Hmm.
I don't take that disrespectful. I I I got on YouTube only because of, I mean, I watch YouTube, and it drives me insane to see all of the misconceptions that I know that I can try and help with. Um, some of it is in a malicious way that they put
Hmm.
misconceptions out there, and some of it is just a misunderstanding, or they it's hearsay. So
Hmm.
if I can at all put things together for people and correct some things,
Hmm.
kind of like people were thinking that I was H's dad's cousin, which I'm not. I wanted that
Hmm.
rectified. Um, there's just things that I've seen that I know for a fact were not the way it was put out there, and I just wanted to rectify it.
Yeah. Um, who is Shannon on panel? Yeah. Okay, she already answered that. She's Candace's friend. Um, you must. I don't know who you're talking to, but you must be new if you don't know who Tim is. If you're talking to Shannon and I, we know, but she might be. They might be talking to someone in the chat. Let's see. CPS couldn't have closed the case 15th or 16th because they would have failed the drug tests. We don't know that. We don't
Right.
know if they had already done one prior to that and maybe they passed. I don't know. Because we don't know anything that happened before this case, before she disappeared, before Summer
And I'll
disappeared.
tell you too, I have Lyme disease. I saw that Cara Liz had said that she lives in upstate New York and it's all woods. I'm actually originally from the Thousand Islands, and it is. It's very, very country. Um, and I ended up with Lyme disease. Well, my doctor had put me on Percocets, and I felt myself getting addicted to the prescription. So I gave them back, and I said, there's got to be another situation for this that we can handle this pain with.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to put me on steroid injections. They gave me
Mm-hmm.
one, and it did bad things to me. So I finally, when I moved here, I started reading up on CBD. So when I'm having a really bad flare up, I
Mm-hmm.
will take a CBD ring. I'll eat a CBD ring. It's legal in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It's not THC. It does have, I think, up to 0.03% in it or something. But
Mm-hmm.
um, so I'll eat one of those. Well, I had taken them with me, and I was in the hotel, and Candace had said that her back hurt. Um, I have 3 kids, and my back kills me, whether it's related or not. She's had 6 kids,
Right.
and it's like, oh my
Right.
God, I can imagine. So I offered her a CBD ring. She said she couldn't take one because she might, pop hot on a drug test when CPS comes.
Mm-hmm.
So that should
Yep.
tell you a little bit of something. The fact that she's not even willing to take CBD that does not show any kind of anything in a drug test.
Right. Exactly. Did you ever hear Candace say why hearing Cornbread Mafia, the behavior panel upset her so badly?
She said that she was just she thought it was ridiculous. Um, it was at that point was when they had previously gotten the phone call saying that they found somebody that looked like Summer, that some guy had her. While she was on set, she was just, she was done with it. She had gotten that, and she's like, this is the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Then after the fact is when they found out it wasn't Summer. And like I said earlier, that would be, to me, in my opinion, that would be like losing her all over again. So that's why she was upset. Was it just she thought it was the most ridiculous thing.
Right. Pearl Strand, why are you asked to sign an NDA? That seems unusual. I think it's more for their protection
It's
of,
only for videos and pictures, and it's
yeah,
because of all of these people that you've seen come to YouTube and turn on them. And,
right.
now most of them are irrelevant, and they don't like that because they're not in the know anymore, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And they kind of pissy about that. But,
Yeah.
um, it's to protect the integrity of the case, because people will take videos and pictures and turn around and say, oh my God, I saw this. Oh, this is where she is, or whatever they're gonna crawl out of the holes and say.
Yeah. Yeah, she was the one in the group picture. Um, Go back and listen to Candace when she reported on Facebook Dawn is gone. Um, okay. Shannon, have you ever been to the Wells house? Yeah. That's why we're here. I think I'm way far behind. Hold on, let me catch up. I'm just
Very
gonna,
possible.
yeah, I'm gonna skip all this and get to the new questions.
Vanessa
Okay.
Jones said, "Are you kidding me? Candace is playing you, Shannon. She takes drugs with Don. Haven't you seen the pictures of how high, I'm assuming she means Candace, was when Don was on the commode? I'm pretty sure there's only room for one person on a commode. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe you guys have a bigger toilet than I do. Um, but Candace used to be an alcoholic. That's why she looked so messed up. I've seen Candace in a tank top. She has no track marks. Um, you know, it's just like I spent almost a whole week there with her.
Mm-hmm.
We took her to a hotel. She didn't, I watched her pack her bag. There was nothing in that bag related to drugs or alcohol. Matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, I watched her dump the bottle out in the sink, and she said, I don't want any more. When I had my teeth
Mm-hmm.
pulled, something said, something clicked in me, and I don't want any more. But
Mm-hmm.
again, who knows? They may be fooling me, but a drug addict is not going to go without drugs for almost a week.
Right. I think they are trying more now to get the boys back. No drink for a week or two, maybe no drugs. It is a start. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
addicts can't just stop, unless they really want it. They can't just stop like that and just be
mhm.
okay.
Okay. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, I'll get back to that one. Shannon, question. After you befriended the Wells, what is your opinion on what happened to Summer? Also, J. Marie, you're behind on the chat. I know, I caught up.
I don't really know. I really don't know. I've got a few ideas, but isn't that all we have? That's all of us have. So,
Right.
I see you missed Southern and Sassy. She said, "What does Shannon have to gain in this case? Not a damn thing."
Okay. Yeah, I skipped all the way down so that I can catch up. Yeah, because on my end, it's literally like it'll show 6 questions and then those 6 questions will disappear. So, and then I'm like, wait, where'd they go? So then by the time I scroll up here, I got to scroll back down. Okay. Let's see. Do you guys have any more questions? Even if addicts really want to, they can't stop.
I
I
don't agree
mean,
with that.
yeah, we don't know. I mean, they can go to rehab, and get some help, maybe some medication.
Somebody also said up above that don't mean she don't use between her toes or fingers. That's true, but you're assuming again.
Right. And I mean, a lot of what we do is speculation.
And
We
that's
have
what
seen
makes
the,
YouTube YouTube. So I'm not going to condemn
right.
anybody for that, but
Yeah.
when the truth has been put out there or what is perceived to be the truth,
Mm-hmm.
just making things up isn't the way it's supposed to be done.
Rate 6 up. You do have to get treatment. You can't just stop. I mean, some people do, and I don't know how they do it, but
Yeah. I've
but
got
I don't
alcoholics
know.
in my family. I have a lot of alcoholics
Mhm.
in my family, and that's the reason I don't drink. And I've seen some of them just quit. One of them was because the
Yeah.
doctor told him if you drink another beer, you're going to die.
Yeah, and you kind of like just get it in your head. But yeah, most of the time, it's safer and healthier to get treatment.
That's true.
You know, addicts will lie and deceive you. Believe that. I lived with one. Yeah, yeah, they do. Shannon, thank you for answering our questions. What is your take on the Wells after you left?
You're very welcome. And I think I think a lot of the things about Candace are misunderstood. The things that she's gone through. I mean, I'm not gonna dive into the things she's gone to because there is some stuff that I know that she's gone through when she was younger that the public doesn't need to know. That
Yeah.
has no bearing on Summer's disappearance, but
Mm-hmm.
um, she's very childlike in some ways, and the attention in some ways the positive attention keeps their mind off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's certain creators that they can't watch because it makes them very upset. And I know people have said, we watched her cry on the phone or we listened to her cry on the phone to Mary when they made that bogus call. That was a very different cry than what I've seen. Um, it just, you can tell when somebody's bullshitting you and when somebody's faking.
Right.
Um, I feel like there's still a possibility that, there is some funky stuff going on, that who knows? I don't know. I can't say that I know because I don't.
Right.
But I feel like they should be given a fair shake until something comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think because of the way they live, people are jumping to conclusions because that's not the way they live, and that's not
Right.
fair.
Yeah. Do you know if she took any pain meds when she had her teeth pulled?
They gave her seven pain pills.
Okay, good. Yeah, she knows that. Shannon, see, it jumped. Shannon, you were also assuming she has quit. Yeah, we're, you know, we don't, like we have said throughout this whole live, guys, we don't know for sure of anything. We're not there,
I know what I've
So,
seen,
yeah,
and to be honest with
and
you,
that's
and not bragging, but that's more than you've seen. So,
it. Yeah.
what I've seen led me to believe that she had quit. Whether she has or hasn't, maybe she's gone back, maybe she hasn't. I don't know. But I do know
Right.
that I was there for almost a week the first time. There was no alcohol, no drugs being had. The last time I was there, I was with them for a solid 2 days, and there was no drugs or alcohol to be had then either.
Mm-hmm.
Candace had a headache. I asked her if she wanted some ibuprofen. She told me no.
No. You're welcome, guys. I see all the thank yous.
You're welcome. I mean, I can't bring too much light to this case, but like I said, I just kind of
Right.
want to clear up some of the misinformation that's out there. It's just ridiculous. Some
Yeah.
of it is just blatant lies that people come up with for clicks and views. I mean, I get that some people
Exactly.
use this as a job, but for the love of God, where is your moral compass? I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times too, I'll be looking, when I go join a live and everybody's chatting, there will be people that just come up with the craziest stuff, and you know they'll even start trouble between the creators.
Yep.
I'll see, oh, this one over here is live and she's talking crap about you, so I'll go over there, see what she's saying, and that one's over there talking about a case.
And
You know what I mean?
there's a lot of people that watch YouTube too that are very two-faced, and they'll go bouncing from creator to creator talking
Yeah.
smack about the one they were just watching. I've seen it.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen it too.
And then Southern and Sassy. I mean, God love you. But the problem here is track marks, yes, they're not only in the arms and the legs. I get that. But again, I will reiterate the fact that I saw nothing. That's all I can tell you. I saw her pack her bag. There was no drug, anything, no alcohol, anything in there. So I've seen my share of tweakers being a paramedic,
Hmm.
and they can't go a week without it.
So this question here, Shannon, did Candace talk about her sister Rose, and what is your opinion on Rose's disappearance?
I think her husband did it.
Yeah.
I think her husband did it, and it's only because of information that was on YouTube already.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband divorced her, filed for divorce 3 weeks after she went missing. It was a very abusive relationship.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of speculation on, oh, Grandma and Candace killed her. Candace wasn't even in the state. Donnie never met
Yeah.
her.
Mm-hmm.
The house that they lived in, she lived with Grandma. The house that they
Mm-hmm.
lived in has already been, the grounds have been searched. The driveway has been pulled up and searched. They did ground penetrating radar, and that all came great right from Grandma. You can't really talk about Rosie in front of Grandma too much. She gets very upset and starts crying. And you've got to put yourself in her shoes too. She's a very, very sweet person. Um, Not a mean bone in her body that I saw, and she's very,
Mm-hmm.
she bought gifts for my son and sent them home with me. Um, no, I didn't stay at the Wells overnight. I stayed in hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Holiday Inn in Kingsport is amazing. The beds are really comfortable. Um, but if you don't like expensive, it was almost $400 for 2 nights.
Wow.
But she's going through it twice. She went through it with her daughter. And yes, it's very, very weird that there's two people in the same family come up missing. I have nothing to say about that. I really don't know what my take is on that. Um, but giving the benefit of the doubt, there's no proof of anything.
Right. With this question here, PG, I don't really watch her because she lies constantly about everything. And in my opinion, she is going to ruin things in this case if she keeps up with her lies.
Yep.
I don't like bashing other creators, and I'm not going to bash her at all. But I am going to say that I wouldn't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. You know what I mean, guys? I wouldn't believe it. She knows as much as we do. That's it. You know, she may have talked to Don on the phone a few times. And how many times has Don told us 50 different stories? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? What do you think he's going to tell her? He doesn't know her from a hole in the wall. You know what I mean? So he's not going to tell her anything, any big news or anything, you know? He's not going to confide in her. In fact, in my opinion, he doesn't even like her. He's using her. So that's just my
Hey,
opinion.
Southern and Sassy, I'm going to say this in the most polite way possible. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can feel free to leave the chat.
We have it pinned to the top that we're not going to disrespect the panel, guys.
She's come after me every single time. The last time I was on your live, she came after me then too, and then said it was a lie. I don't even want to address her anymore.
Okay.
Opinions are like assholes. There you go.
Let's see if there's any other questions. Comfy beds, yep. All right,
I even went as far as pulling the sheet up, not to only check for bed bugs, because I check every hotel I've ever stayed at for bed bugs. One of my biggest fears. Cockroaches, bed bugs, and lice are like huge fears of mine.
Yeah.
I lifted the sheets up just to see what kind of mattress it was because I want one.
Right.
It was extremely comfortable.
Shannon, what do you think about Candace's ex, Andy, that she had with her first two kids? Could that be the Andy that Hunter was talking about in the CM video?
He's not anywhere near Tennessee or in the picture at all. And
Yeah, I don't think so.
they never said anything to me. Hey,
Yeah,
Six
because
Up Media, you're right. It is my life. It is my life. And now you're making me come out of character because y'all are being ridiculous. For real. I told you in the beginning, and so did Jay Marie, I can only vouch for what I've seen. And I had said that I cannot say whether they are or not doing drugs or alcohol. I can only vouch for what I've seen.
Yeah.
These are the
Yeah,
type of
guys.
people that are they're the cause of the problems, you know? No reason to attack chat. Don't like the comments, don't address it. Not attacking it, but if you don't like what I'm saying, bounce.
I mean, guys, we don't, like I said before, we really don't have all the information. I invited Shannon here to clear up rumors and answer any questions that you guys had. If she doesn't know, I mean, there's nothing we can't really go any further, if she can't answer the questions. Let's see. Right. So, I mean, if nobody else has any more questions, why can't people respect us? Yeah, guys.
And Carol, Liz, you know how us New Yorkers are.
All right.
Nobody bashed her, though, just stating real facts. Nothing of what you're saying is fact. There are no facts to back up. There is no proof to back up your fact of shooting up between toes or fingers. That is speculation. That is assuming.
All right. Yeah, guys. We just, when we're in here, I just want everybody to be respectful, I know most people are being respectful.
Absolutely. You are right.
Yeah.
But the point is it's always the same ones that, try to go for somebody's throat.
Mm-hmm. How does Shannon know that Summer was on camera on the 15th? Did the police tell her?
It's been reported. That's why all those places have been cleared that she was alive. So anybody speculating that she was no longer alive at the watering hole or that she never made it back from the watering hole. It's untrue.
Hi, Shannon. Hope you're doing well, and I'm glad Candace has you as a friend. Do they need any help with food for themselves or the dogs?
Not that I'm aware of. Their pantry is pretty full. And the dogs have, when I was up there a little over a week ago, or no, it was about a week ago, they had about 12 or 13 bags of dog food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think it was from you and one other person. I heard they had plenty of dog food, and
Matter
they're
of
good
fact, they
with.
sent the 2 bags of dog food home that Molly dropped off thanks to her subs. They sent them home with me because they had so much that it'll take them a while to go through them because they're all like the big 50-pound bags.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, Jody Lynn. They are just the trolls and disrespectful people are just trying to start drama. That's what they're here for, right?
Please let them know that I keep them in my prayers.
Will do. I see somebody so southern and sassy. I'm not even going to answer you. Whatever.
All right. We're gonna take a couple more questions. Um, okay, Shannon, question. Do you know if TBI has confirmed Don's alibi at work that day? I have heard speculation that his alibi was not confirmed the day she went missing.
Nobody has told me through law enforcement or anything that it has or hasn't. There's a lot of speculation going on out there about that because he can come and go from work as he pleases.
Mm-hmm.
I was told today that somebody had confirmed that they had confirmed via his phone that he was in, I think it was Jonesboro, where he was working.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If they have a freezer, we can ship in for assortments of meat, frozen veggies, so they can eat healthy.
Absolutely. I do know that Candace really likes vegetables. She eats, fried green tomatoes. She loves tomatoes. She absolutely hates avocados.
Mm-hmm.
I was making BLTs last night. And my daughter loves avocados, and she was calling it baby shit.
So what I'll do is when I'm done here, me and Shannon will talk and try to figure out how you guys can do that. Maybe I'll get Shannon's email. She's okay with that, or somebody's email, so that way, we can figure out how if you guys want to help them out, if you can, with
Yeah.
some food and stuff like that. I've never heard it stated by law enforcement that Summer was seen on camera that day. Who said that? I forgot who said that, but I had heard it that there was some kind of footage.
And there are also things that I've been told while being up there and while
Mm-hmm.
talking to them that,
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been released. So,
Okay. All right. Good night, Carrie. Um, Love you too. I'm sorry. Let's see. So
Kitten
can we?
Capoodler, I don't want to receive personally any money from you.
Right.
I'm 5 hours away, but I mean, we can always organize something if y'all want to do it to where, um, I'm sure that there's places that do like, I don't know, bulk meat assortments, or I know
Yeah.
that the IGA here does where you can pay like $100 and get so many pounds of this and so many pounds of that. So I'm sure that there's somewhere. I know, not ShopRite, that's up in New Jersey. What the hell is that
So
store she went to?
oh, the grocery store out there, the local
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I forgot the
here,
name of it, but what I'm
priceless,
gonna do,
priceless.
yeah, priceless. So what I'll do is I'll look into to see if there's any way to like send money through and have the food delivered to the house.
Yep.
And if I can figure that out in any way, I can give you guys a link in the next live.
Yeah.
I'll put up a live. So just give me a couple days to figure that out, and then that's what I'll do, and I'll put up the link.
And there may even be a meat market somewhere nearby.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll put up a couple links if there's any places that deliver to them, so that way you can send the money right to them, because
Yeah, or it's something I can pick
we
up.
definitely don't want to handle money,
Yeah, not at all.
especially with things that have happened in the past. So, did Don and Candace talk about Dudley?
No, not
No.
to me. Maisie McTavish, she said she'd like to help, so maybe keep her name jotted down somewhere as well.
Okay. I don't think I skipped over. Like I was saying before, I was really far behind and I had to catch up with my chat. So I might have skipped a lot of questions. Did that guy, okay, did the Chris guy confirm that when he interviewed Candace? Oh, she's talking to somebody else. Okay. Why did Candace walk off and leave her own 3 children when they were young? I don't know.
I'm not addressing her questions anymore. I mean, if you
I
want
don't.
to, you can. It's your panel, but
Okay. I don't know why she did that. I had heard that too, and I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard her reasoning for that. Um, because she really doesn't speak in like interviews and stuff like that, so I'm not really sure. Um, you have been a great guest. Thank you for being willing to share and debunk false accusations.
you're
Are
welcome.
we able to send toys to them for the boys? Look
That's
into
been
that
asked a lot
too.
before.
Yeah, and I think there was something with the church with that. But I'll look into that as well. My next live, I'll have all this information for you guys. So if you
Well, and
guys want
also I
to,
do know that they do get Christmas gifts when they're in foster care like that. And
mm-hmm,
I want to say somebody had said in another channel at one point that some of the foster homes don't like to do that because they do carry more than one child.
mm-hmm.
So if one ends up with more than the other one, then it's kind of an unfair and can kind of clash. So I could see that as being a legitimate reason.
Yeah, yeah. She said they haven't talked about Dudley. But thank you. Okay, thanks, guys. Great. So we're gonna end the live. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. If you have any more questions, just leave them in the chat and I will go back and look and write them down. And
J.
all
Marie
right.
has my contact information too. So, if she
Yeah.
goes live, she can, ask me questions and then answer them to you guys.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. So I'm going to let Shannon go. She has her son there with her.
Yeah,
I
he's
can
getting
hear him.
restless.
Yeah.
Thank you
So,
everybody that was respectful and taking into consideration my standpoint on things of, not knowing for fact things, but commenting
yeah.
on what I've seen. So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we can. Yeah, if they don't have delivery, we can do that too. Like pay for the food and have Don pick it up. That's a
yeah,
good idea.
Walmart does where you can order stuff and then go and pick it up. So,
Yeah,
that's
they
always
have
an
like the
option too.
pickup parking. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely things like that. But that one's a good idea, the Walmart.
Yeah.
If you guys want to order some food or something and then have them pick it up. All right,
Jody
guys.
Lynn, I don't know. It's kind of usually unplanned. Knowing I don't stay at their home, I stay in hotels. So,
Yeah.
but thanks for listening to me babble, everybody. I'm gonna get off here because my kid is getting very restless. So it's gonna end up
All
he's
right.
gonna get loud. So I'll talk to
All
you
right.
whenever.
All right. Thank you
Have a
for
good night,
coming.
everybody.
You too. Bye bye. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming and thank you for being respectful. And you guys have a lot of great questions and comments. There we go. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. I'm going to get off here. And if you guys have any more questions, just leave them in the chat. After the broadcast ends, you guys can comment. So, and I'll talk to you guys next time in my next live. And I'll have some more information for you guys on how you can help with food and stuff like that. All right. Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Bye.